during lunch? Well, I'm eating a non-Greek salad.
Yeah, no, it should be Greek today. That's what I was trying to tell you.
But the salad
Mediterranean.
will not be. The salad's not going to be a Greek salad. It never is.
It probably won't be.
They never do.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining. It's 11 o'clock. We want to welcome back Sia. She'll be on part of the midday show for sure. Thanks to Dara. It's been a lot of fun here so far today. We'll wait to see what winds up happening with this market. Going lower right now as the NASDAQ down 0.5%. We will see you guys very, very soon. Marvell continues to fall down. We'll see you guys on the 2 p.m. spot. Good luck with some of these small cap names.
What do we got going on here?
Baby, and the sky is falling down, down, down.
He's a hot
Whoa, man. We're gonna tell you, I'm gonna get fired pretty soon, man. One of these cameras is gonna go flying off the thing. Brendo's gonna have to come back from Italy. I'm gonna get like a notice of termination.
Yeah, poor Brendo out there in Italy there.
I know, the poor guy.
Yeah.
He's in Naples. He's having the time of his life. Now, I know he's working up a storm. Shout out to Don Sharifo, Other Zinc. We got Chris Onion, Yardara Oliveris, Notorious Dinkelberg, Roger Noonan. We got Scardia? I'm sorry. Scott Tomlinson, Stone broke since yesterday. Lead the Conductor. Custom all-time highs. We got Jesse Martinez. Joseph's favorite person in the chat. One of my favorite persons in the chat.
Where is he?
Ben 10 C COYG, baby. It is that time. We're still living high. We got Saturday though. We're Champions League, so you know, still living high till then. T2 7 time. We got Dantastic Sports Cards. Bovin the OG's been killing it lately. Shout out to Fluffy Hippo, Johnny Fishbone, my man Ozan Chile. We got Diddy Candle. We're gonna have to block you, brother. Sorry, you can't have a name Diddy Candle in the chat. Yeah, terrible trades. Neil's already commenting. Black Sheep trades hectic. 187. Mr. Love Shack. Meta L Melody 6. Andrew Chow. The G is back. Vinay Menon. Who else? Joey.
Yeah.
Traveling Trading Tony. The triple T.
Okay.
Traveling Trading Tony.
Would you rather be Triple T or Triple H?
Triple H. No, Neil's got that right, because then I'd be heading up the WWE. I'd probably get a couple of shares.
Oh, that's all that matters.
Of course, TKO. Come on now.
That's all that matters, man. Is that TKO shareage. All right, guys.
Hold on. Let's just say hello super quick to the super chat.
Adam, this guy.
James Abroad. VCIG, APPS, ASTC, Lego, Busy Day, all those on the side charts, but we're going to let Joey pontificate before we jump in.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm going to be doing exactly that, but I feel like we've been neglecting our good friend Bravely over there on TikTok. So we're going to give a couple shout outs to the individuals over there. The ones that we see quite often, we have Charles Tolliver, Julian, Greg, what's going on? Not Don himself, but that's all right. We have Alfredo, what's going on? Topper, Mima, King John. Okay. Neutron, what's up? We look with the Canadian flag. Clark with some dollar signs. We have the Canadians, the Montreal Canadiens. Get out of here. Scotta, Talent. Who else do we got? J Monster, Mike Fallon.
J Monster.
Any relations to Jimmy, Wagon Production, Haley. Who else do we got? A Fantasy, Phil, Burnout, Bustress, Mojo, a couple more, T Rose, Ashley, Ingram, Mark Maggs, Steepo, and OK2. Ace, we like that one, guys. All right, let's see what we got going on here today.
Oh my
man, a whole lot of tomfoolery here. You're already, this guy's already looking up on the screen. You're gonna have to be patient here, my friend. Here we go, Tesla. I mean, it took us a while to get this one rolling, but now we're starting to finally cook up. All the way up here, we were realized green. Now, not so much the case as it comes back approximately 30 cents. Not too good, but hey, nonetheless, we took a couple of attempts on that one. We started 1 for 3 on it. Now, this was the bad boy. We diamond hands Deontay Wilder all the way up into 54s off at 1610s on TSLA. We tried this hot piece of garbage SMR. That one didn't work out for us, but that's all right. We get a break even on this bad boy. And then also Trash Coin here, not selling off, holding up. Yeah, man, I'm just coming for the fences here today, Sharif.
You're angry.
So watch out for that one. But yeah, all reality, at the peak, I believe I went 2 for 7, and we were unrealized green, but unrealized doesn't mean a thing if you don't lock that profit in. Let's see if we can get Tesla and a reload opportunity here for a move back in towards the high of the day, but the market not performing that well today.
No, well, yeah, you're right. It's negative, so yeah, that typically is the standard. All right, we're long, 1025, ASTC, let's go. 330%. We're already over. We already over 1123 high. I've wet the beak at the best at 1115, so just missing the dollar club there by about 10 pennies. Here's what we're doing. We're moving up the stop to break even. Here comes 11 again. There's a staunchy seller at 11, despite the fact that we've been above it. Doesn't mean that the shorts can't reset, and we're zigging and zagging now. Keeping a close eye on the 5-second chart. Make of it what you will. You know, I'll get, funny comments. Why are you looking at the 5-second chart? That's absolutely microscopic. Well, quite frankly, because I'm trying to spot areas of support and resistance, local areas at that. So another $11.17 area high. That is a lower high, but we're still putting in higher lows on the 5. I'm looking for a decisive move here above 11.25 to show me at least locally that the buyers are outdoing sellers. I want to show you guys something. There seems to be support on the 50 exponential moving average on the 5-second chart. 5-second chart. You can see all the dips into that 50 EMA have all been getting bought up. And here we come again, 11 mid-teens, 11.19. We can't shake the sellers into the $0.25. And I did get the print there at the $0.25, so technically a $1 winner there. Now we're looking for $0.33. Can we get it? We're not even getting closing prints above the $11 area, so we're getting a lot of resistance. We're going to have to pack the patience. So 10.33 is my next out, and then we want to see exactly what the 10.5 has to bring. To the opposite side, this thing drops below $10.30. I'm out. I'm in at 10.25, so we're not going to give anything back. Still have a few more outs, but definitely want to get that 11.33. So it's right away. ASTC, absolutely him right now, 335%, about 69 million shares exchanging hands on the day, ample liquidity, tight spreads, 2 penny here. I see it open up at times when the bid does drop off. Case in point, when we were at 11, I saw the ask basically at 11.20, and there it goes right down through 10.30, stops me out. So we give back, a little off the top there. You can't be ungrateful, okay? So prior bar low, 975. This loses prior bar low. I think we're going to 9. Currently, the current bar low. Oh God, this thing again doesn't work on the hover over ASTC. I have to go to another screen. Current bar low is 992. Prior bar low, 975. Continuing to watch here. Let's see if it comes back in, holds that $9 area. I think if it loses the prior bar low, then I think we're going to 9. Still holding above 10 for the moment. I want to watch a little bit over here to see if this is the right area to get in an entry. We had a lot of support, guys, at 975. Initially. Now we're finding support at 10. It's starting to curl up a little bit here on the 5-second chart. It's not making aggressively higher highs or anything, but it's not losing the lows. Watching that $10 area, you could give it from 10 into 975, but I don't know. I don't really like the way that just dropped off the bottom. Here's what I'm looking at on the 5-second chart, if you're wondering why I keep analyzing these levels. Here it is. So you had their whole lot of buying at around 975, and there you just got it. You got 975, you got 983, close enough. So who's in, right? Who took that? Who took that to get in? I haven't taken it quite yet. So, oops, what am I doing over here, Joey? I'm screwing up everything over here. I screwed up the whole layout.
Oh, that's not good, my guy.
That's not good.
Want me to take
All right,
over
no, we're good. I'm trying to resize this bad boy. Okay. There we go. Okay, so 975, continuing to watch over here. There's a buyer in and around this area. Should be getting in, quite frankly, and giving it to right below the $0.25. That's what I'm doing. Let's go. We're going 969. We'll give some back. That's fine with me. So we're in at 10.05. Let's go 10.25 for a profit taker, and then maybe even a little bit higher, maybe 10.49 or something like that. That's all predicated upon it holding 975. We're not going to risk that much, and we took far less shares than we did originally. $10. Staunchy area of resistance. Now we were talking about that $10 base forming. Now it's acting as a bit of a resistance level here, Joey. So concerns here, and there we go. We just got stopped out quick as you like, as it did drop below 969. Give back a little, but hey, man, you got to make some to you got to make some, lose some to make some. Nicole Harris dropping 5 in the chat. I did see NEO today, Nicole. I was telling Joey, I'm like, why is NEO up 5-6%?
Why is it?
Picked up cheap NEO options, up $10. Can you look at the stock? Was in between them and Piton, FYI. Go VICG, still holding. Get it, Nicole.
Get it, Nicole.
I didn't even know that you're trading small caps these days, but I do like it.
All right.
Shout out to Nicole Harris, or her new name in the chat there, Nicole Evada. Let's have a look at NEO. It's already up on the chart because I was looking at this before we went live. So still consolidative, and I think NEO's been consolidated for like a hot minute. Let's just say from January 2024. Yeah, we've been in this range, man. $8 as resistance, essentially $3 to $4 as support. That's a long-ass range we've been in, man. Jeez Louise. In any event, let's go to the 30. So you're going to see probably some resistance, Nicole, I'm assuming at 580 to 6. Look at that bottom over multiple days. Take it from the 1st of May. You touch that again on the 6th of May, again on the 7th, again on the 8th, and then almost basically on the 11th. So a lot of resistance at 580 to 590. I'd be looking for resistance there, but you're 570 here. So you still have another 10 pennies or so, 10, 20 pennies, depending on whether it's 80 or 90 resistance. So something to look at there. That's the half-an-hour chart on NEO. Let's go to the 4-hour. So, yeah, still looks like the same thing to me, quite frankly, Nicole. That 580, 590 area, just basically from the 1st of May, as I said, to the 12th. So that area is going to be a staunchy area versus now. Give you credit. You could probably get up to 6 as well, especially if you're looking at the 21st price action. Look at that double top, that breach 6. So you could break through that 580, 590, head up to 6, but that's going to be that's actually a more recent resistance level. Quite frankly, the 21st of May popped up right into 6 there. So I hope you print up multiple storms on your side of the screen, Nicole. I think NEO.
Want me to pull the options chain?
Yeah, I think so, brother. Especially since you did get options. Yeah.
Let's take a look at the chain here, guys. Here it is. So I mean, at that $5.50 marker, you can see our at the money IV, but also our open interest sitting around 18,000 contracts right there, my guy Sharif. So I mean, there's a little bit of a supply zone on NEO. Yeah, 18,000 with 12,000 volume. Relatively light, but hey, guys. But yeah, here it is, man. I mean, not too bad. You can build your strategies here as well, too. So yeah, let me know if you see what you guys got going on dashboard. You see what we have here. But other than that, yeah, as for that level at $5.50, you can still see some open interest in some in-the-money contracts here, 24,700 there at that $6 marker. So keep an eye out on that right there, guys. For NEO, as we slowly start to climb a little bit higher here in Tesla, we want to hold this thing. Probably should have added right at VWAP, but I mean, we chickened out of that one. So hesitation nation on that one, no hydration nation on that one. So yeah, unfortunately it is what it is. But I mean, if we head towards the high of the day, $17 here on TSLL is going to be one of my primary targets. We'll start to piece them out at 1680. But considering where the market is sitting at right now, I like our chances, because if you do find somewhat of a bottom, then I believe this will add a little bit more fuel to this Tesla fire that's going on here today, up 2%, while the rest of the market is just hovering around the lows. We have our eyes on Bitcoin still, and SMR at $12. Someone's Minnesota trader, I think, asked me, he's like, hey, what do you think about SMR at 12 bucks? Doesn't look horrible, to be honest with you. Some buying pressure right here. Excuse me. That would be getting myself in a little bit better than where I was before from a volume standpoint, or from an entry standpoint, sorry. But we want to focus on Tesla. I don't want to be getting in too many positions when this specific trade is the one that can kind of flip our day around. So we'll be patient. Hopefully we can start to find somewhat of a rebound. And poor old NVDA is just so hot garbage, as someone mentioned not too long ago. From 238 all the way down to 209 here, Sharif. So the street isn't liking it. Yeah, it's just getting destroyed.
You don't think it's some profit taken, Joey?
For what though? Like, look how long you've been consolidating. Sure, you can profit take, but where's the profit taking elsewhere?
160 dip into, what was that? Like 160 straight into, what was that, 225, 230?
Like, why are we taking profits from NVDA and why aren't we taking profits from AMD and Micron and stuff like that is my question. Obviously, if I knew the answer, then things would be significantly different. But I mean, all the way up here from to 959 on Micron. Now you're down to $900, a little bit less. So that's like a 60-cent drop right there. But I mean, how long are we going to take profits on this bad boy? It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of the past 8 days. 6 of the sessions have been hectically red. So I mean, there might be something else going on behind the scenes. We talked about the short float nature in this bad boy.
All right, Assassino, what are we doing? We're going to Dare. Just before we go, guys, I want to talk about BRTX. We're going to look at this when we get back, but it's about to take out 60 pennies. It's ripping up on the day. It's up 140%. Keep your eye on this one, but we got to go to Adair for news.
GE pushing higher here, guys. We have more investor conferences as we've seen all day. GE Aerospace, quote, leaning towards the high end of their guidance range following a strong Q1 2026. They're, I guess, expecting to outperform, or at least perform in the high end of their guidance. Their spare parts demand has accelerated further over the last 60 or so days. So good look here from GE. Also seeing some more comments here in the Middle East. Israeli army attacking Hezbollah commands in southern Lebanon. Back to you.
Thank you very much. All right, there's $9-ish support on ASTC just before we get to BRTX. So that's the gap area there, and the gap was caused by the halt and then the open up. And here we go. It looks like we've got 2 hammer candles here that hold off $9. However, those hammer candles, Joseph Options, are finding resistance at that pesky $10 area. Should we break through that $10 area in a decisive fashion, I think that would probably elicit some longs, probably push some shorts out who are earmarking 10 as their level, stop out level, that is. So ASTC should be in focus here, especially for a reclaim of a $10 area, given that it's put in a couple of hammer candles above the halt level, above the 10 EMA, and it's only, let's be honest here, $1.25 below the high of the day. So that's the look there. Here comes 10, man. This thing, I don't know. I don't know how I feel exactly about this. I don't want to take it south at 10, quite frankly, lest it reject and force me down possibly into the halt level. The bottom could drop off on this. But I'm seeing a lot of, the volume is just unabated here. We were talking about this 63 million and change. Try 73 million, my boy. So good, good look there for AST. God, I hate Windows. Anyway, BRTX, I like this one. I do like it, but I see a lot of resistance at 60. And the funny thing is, it was acting as a support level there as well. Yeah, that glitch there should be sent to your boy Satya for his, I don't know, crappy, let's be honest about it, Windows can't hold a candle to Mac OS, nor can Copilot to anything else, right? But Microsoft, hey man, it and Nvidia are the only negative Mag 7 names on the day. Perfect, so apropos, so apropos. But in any event, there goes ASTC through 10 again. And are we ready to go now? What's the situation? Are we curling back up? We've got a lot of room between the current price action and prior bar low. So let's give this one the old community college try. Let's set up at 975. Let's see what this one has to offer us here, Joey. We're looking for another move up. There's 30. Nice. Looking for a little bit of a bigger move here. Like, can we get some 40s? We've got a seller here at the third of a dollar. So breaking out, but really no aggressive continuation, much like we saw the previous attempt. There's 40s. Good look. Looking for a little bit more now. There's 50s. Another good look. We are looking now for 60s, but we dropped down into the 30s. So 21 is my entry. I think I'm going to give this to single digits, 09, so I'll end up risking about 15 pennies out of half the position already. Looking for a little bit more here. No continuation, sadly, through the half dollar. There's 47. Can we get it? There's 55, but it's transient. No continuation through the half. Looking for 60s now. packing the patience, but knowing full well that this is technically a lower high if we don't get through 11. Keeping an eye on BRTX, it's failing, so happy that I chose this one. There's an aggressive seller, guys, at the half dollar, 54, 55. That's a third attempt we've tried to make for a decisive move into 60 pennies, all of which have rejected. So be on the lookout here for that half dollar seller. They're pretty aggressive here unless we can clear them and clear them decisively again into the half dollar and another rejection. So an aggressive profit taker and or short seller at the half dollar, Joey.
All right, man, good stuff. I'm honestly gonna take a page out of Neil's textbook, man. Like if we hit certain targets, I'm just all out. Never mind, leave some of this runner nonsense. To be honest with you, with the market, just take the cash and run, man. There goes Bitcoin starting to climb a little bit higher, and I mean, I took half up here. Do I want to be greedy on this? Absolutely, because the intention of this one specific trade is going to eliminate all the other losses, like 1, 2, 3 losses right there on Tesla, 4 on IBIT, and a break even on SMR all the way at this peak. We are on realized green, but now it's just like, all right, bang, you failed to establish a new high, putting in a lower high right here. But at this point, when I just step away, I should have took everything out as soon as we had that strong on the backside of this trend. So, I mean, dude, I'm doing it, you know what I mean? From now on, it's just like sometimes the runners are all fun and it looks pretty, but just, Neil, I'm saying I'm taking a page from your book and just getting out when targets are hit, and just who cares what happens after that point. And thanks to everybody in the chat who said I shouldn't long IBIT, and I'm obviously being highly sarcastic. We know that we have to make our own decisions, but right at the volume weighted average price we wanted to go, it wasn't selling off with the overall market, so something was afoot with his name, and sure enough, we're starting to climb a little bit higher here in IBIT, and trust me, I would never blame you because I'm being completely sarcastic. We are completely responsible for all of our own decisions. Now, and if that's the issue, if you start to blame other people, that's not good, all right? You got to figure out, you got to man up and accept what's going on. All right, but anyways, aside from that, guys, it gets better, Joy. Buy longs in Micron? No, I'm not getting involved with that stuff right now. I did buy a little, full disclosure, I did buy a little NASA thanks to Shreve. Shreve would see if I'm pointing the finger at people. I'm like, hey, man, this guy just essentially made me buy it, forced my hand, and then hit the button. Yeah.
I'm sitting there listening to this story. I'm clapping for a story that I'm implicated in.
Yeah, exactly. That's essentially your whole fault. Your whole fault. But I mean, anything can happen with that one.
That ain't right, says Neil.
I know, that ain't right, man. That ain't right. But other than that, guys, like Bitcoin climbing, if there's a pullback, then maybe we can get involved. What I'm seeing from a 5-minute, we have SMR. This bad boy looks like it wants to break down. And then we have IBIT continuing to climb higher with a nice uptick there in Bitcoin. Are we going to find any form of recovery? What does it look like on the daily, Sharif? We're at the lower end of a complete support system. If that breaches, we're in trouble in some crypto land here, guys.
Sorry, give me a sec.
Oh, okay, I saw you were. I felt like you were building up on.
No. I'm
all right,
so I'm just trying to monitor this.
All right, man, do your thing. So yeah, as I mentioned, all the way up here, this was nice, and then sure enough, now what we have is a downtrend. So where do we add? Maybe on the backside of this downtrend here, Neil. But if not, if it doesn't break, then we have to be prepared to trail our stop, which we probably should have done at the break of the volume weighted average price. But shoulda, coulda, woulda. It is what it is, and we accept our fate. Now, other than that, guys, yeah, we're going to sit patient. I know it says I'm not in any positions right now. That's because I haven't done any transactions, but I am long IBIT from 1612s.
Fluffy, why? You're so funny, Fluffy. I didn't even read your comment, but it's funny. All right, Hell's Gate got in at 427, out at 1460 for 80%. He's talking about AMSS. So Hell's Gate was asking me about this when I was like, brother, you know, look, it looked really good initially, but it's been a sell the entire time. I mean, I think you have the best part of this trade, Hell's Gate, quite frankly. So pat yourself on the shoulder, man, because that's a hell of a trade. The dude's in at 427. Like, literally, that's the breakout level, which is insane at 7 a.m. He must have seen this at the scanner immediately. Out at 1460, that's the kind of dreams traders have, man. Like, you're in at the bottom and you're out at the top. That's an infuriating entry. And I'm exaggerating for effect, of course, but this is as good of a trade as it gets, brother, and you don't even need to be looking at any other part of the trade. You took the cream of the crop when it comes to this AMZN trade there. Pat yourself on the back, Hell's Gate. Sto Jam 17. Yeah, I stopped blaming Sean for all my losses. Now I blame LOL. Who, me? I don't even know who you're talking about, but whatever. Okay. Shout out to you, my man. I don't even think the Katina man remotely trades the same thing as I, so I doubt you could really blame me for that. But hey, I blame Neil, he says. Okay, well, there you go, Neil. You're getting it now, Neil. Anybody can get it.
Anybody can
it's like it, It's like the Strader Hormuz. Anybody can get it.
Oh,
you know
no,
what I mean?
No, it's like Adrian Broner, the can man.
Yeah, I feel bad making fun of
like
him.
the
After
can
what
man.
I've seen online,
Yeah.
it kind of breaks my
But he's
heart.
making a little bit of money now, the can man, so anybody can get it. Mexicans.
I like that.
Canadian.
Cloudy Scrumpy. He's dropping 10 Australian dollars in the chat.
Yeah,
got
you know
an
what?
A there,
I
Joe.
like it. I've obviously already read the chat itself.
You read it.
Yeah, and he's lucky that he's Aussie because I know those guys are highly sarcastic.
They are.
Right?
They're fantastic.
So, they're fantastic. So
Can we read it out?
Yeah, of course.
Is it legit? Okay. Hello from the Aussie Night Owls, and let's get And let's get at it, you absolute units. Respect to Joey on the confidence gain since making his dough more aerodynamic on you, alleges this guy, bro.
Man.
He's talking about aerodynamicity and things in the chat. That's high level stuff. Niraj, check Hoth for the next run up. Yes, sir. We'll check Hoth in 1 second, but I haven't even showed you guys the side chart. I got to get to my main man, Adam James Abroad, the man who lives a life we all dream of living, AKA he travels all the time and infuriates all his Instagram followers, myself included. Egyptian Gunner, APPS looks daily, but big float. Okay, so let's bring in the side chart because all the ones that y'all just talked about there are on the side chart. AIM is absolutely ripping, and here comes 44 pennies again. We're at 33. This is bull flagging, kind of lost VWAP a little bit, found support at 34, random area to be quite honest with you, but here it is. This one should be in focus. So should QTTB. You got an upward channel here with respect for the 10 EMA on the 5, but you have a lot of wicks, and it doesn't matter what time you're looking at. Pre-market, implied balance open, after the power hour or the morning first hour there, it's wicking everywhere. So you need to take into consideration the characteristic of the name you're trading, because if it's going to be wicking up and down like that, that has to influence your stop placement. You put a stop too tight, you're out of a good trade. So this one feels maybe flat top breakage through 12.25, 12.5. QTTB needs to be in your focus right now. So does APPS, and that's what Adam was talking about there. You'll see APPS absolutely pop off right at 405, either earnings or a headline. In either case, I kind of don't care, but it doesn't matter because it ran in the aftermarket and it kind of started taking off in the pre-market at around 7:30. It wasn't doing anything from 4 a.m. till about 7:30, but since that 7:35 spike, I want to say this has been a bunch of higher highs and higher lows. Alas, apps is up on the day 55.5%. A little bit of resistance here at 750. You can kind of see that. Multiple candles from 1055 to the current 1025 candle, all rejecting 750 on a closing basis. That probably could be leading up for maybe a big flat top break of sorts. That's APPS. And then you guys are going to be surprised that I have this on here. But how many times is Ford going to rip up in a day without me giving it its due credit? I mean, look, yesterday it was a little bit of a choppy trade in the afternoon. I get that. The morning right at 9:30 was cake. You got 9:30 again this morning was cake. The day before yesterday, specifically 9:30. Bro, look how many 9:30 pops this is. Just put a market on open order on Ford and just, go to the bathroom, get some food or something.
At the beach or something.
Something. Ford has been an absolute buy off the open for the last few days, and it's not even giving you those bamboozling wicks that pop down, stop you out before they move along their merry way to the high side. Ford has been clean, guys, on the open. Some food for thought there if you're looking for a trade at the open. But there goes ASTC. It's taking out highs. It's ripping, baby. Here comes 1192. I don't know what halt up is quite yet. We're probably going to have resistance at 12, Joey. I'm watching this one.
Good stuff, man. All right, we're getting a trend line break. I mean, this isn't as accurate as this is here, but the nice uptick. So if we do happen to sit on the backside of this bang, then maybe we look for a reload and this is breached and we can continue to move to the northeast. That'd be more ideal, but we obviously need the overall market to start to participate and help us with this one. So we'll keep our eyes on the Tesla trade for the reload, and then we're just gonna all day grind this. And then there goes Bitcoin. 42.62. I thought we were going to see a base by the end of the week of at least $40 on this bad boy, and then SMR still haven't found its way, but it is starting to form somewhat of a wedge, right? I mean, consistent lower highs, and then we have that support level. A guy from work, shout out to him. He's definitely all about this name because he asks me every day about it, but I think it's patience. Patience is really key because there might be some form of a rotation into some of these nuclear plays. We just have to wait for it to fall into our lap. But let's add to this Tesla. I think this is going to be a good opportunity to do so. Do we get back into our initial position size? Why not? Right? Like, why not? What else are we doing here if we're not going to try to put on the trades that we believe is right? Especially if we get some form of a ridiculous post or truth from Donald Trump that says things are starting to work in our favor, then by all means, I think it can help move the market a little bit higher. But there goes Bitcoin as it's starting to move a little bit. I think it might be the Iranians wanting to get paid in BTC, and then sure enough, bang, there it goes, 42.69. I didn't get anything in my ear. Are we sending it over to Adara?
Yep. Yes, we are.
Go.
I should mention here as well here, not crypto related, but Chris Pavlovsky, CEO of Rumble, saying that apparently Rumble is going to be beginning the trek to compete with the world's largest hyperscalers by the middle of June. So Rumble expanding into the hyperscaler space. But I want to talk about a different company and its CEO to start off this crypto segment here with this just fascinating hair curl. Shout out to Jamie Dimon. He is the CEO of JPMorgan, and he made a lot of comments about a lot of things this morning. As I mentioned earlier, there were a lot of could be, maybes, we mights that came up. But one thing that he did mention once again, and keep in mind, he is historically not crypto friendly. He said that JPMorgan is considering either starting a stablecoin or joining in with the group on a stablecoin. So again, very, very speculative, as was his entire speech. But JPMorgan and Jamie Dimon on watch with those comments earlier today. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. BTC, if you zoom out here, we are still, this is the daily chart, guys, very much on this downtrend from those all-time highs made around early October 2025. Now, if you zoom in a little bit, that 78,000 level of resistance very much still coming into play. We rejected that area last Thursday. We rejected again yesterday. Now today, we are not even anywhere near testing 78K, but we're still for now above that most recent low on Saturday. That's going to be that 74,200 level. Low of day today, 74.6. So as of right now, trying to tread water in the middle of that range is BTC. Ethereum looking kind of similar to ETH here. If you zoom out, if you zoom in, I think the level of resistance here where Bitcoin is 78K, for Ethereum it looks to be that 21.5 area. So 2,150. Let's see if either of these either test these levels of resistance or breaks below. In the meantime, we'll send you back to the guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's up with Jamie sometimes. I love him personally, but it's like, dude, you're a part of the largest bank on the planet, and yet sometimes you're a little pessimistic. I don't really understand. I don't understand it. Like, at the end of the day, look what this guy's doing, and he's kind of, I don't want to call it fear-mongering because I don't think that's what he's doing, but it's just, sometimes his outlook is so negative, but yet he's just controlling the largest bank on the planet. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, and it hasn't been performing very well, but aside from the stock, like, it's an amazing company.
Do you see Bezos with the interview with Sorkin and how much replay it got online, specifically respecting the tax issue?
Dude, I was telling you about this.
I think he's going to run.
You think Bezos is going to run?
Yeah.
Like, listen, But did you see, he didn't like directly, so Sorkin's like, hey, would you be willing to pay more tax? He didn't directly answer the question.
Well,
obviously.
I think he said, if I'm going to pay more tax, it's just going to be misspent. He's basically anyway.
It doesn't matter where the tax is coming from, it's going to be misspent.
So his proposition, I don't know if you got the whole thing.
Yeah, I watched the whole bit.
Yeah, then you know exactly what was said then. What I thought, and why it caused me to think, maybe he wants to throw his hat into the political ring simply because, he's taken a bit of a populist view here in the sense that, he's trying to make the argument the bottom 50% of earners pay about 3% of federal taxes. A lot of misinterpretation that was state as well. He was talking specifically, I think, about federal taxes. And so he's basically saying those people shouldn't be really paying tax. Let them take home everything that they make. It might make so much of a difference to them to have that extra 25, 30% in their pocket than it does for the government because they only really amount to about 3% of the tax base. That was his argument. Whether you want to agree with his factual assertions or not, I think reasonable people can disagree on that. But I think that's a hell of a position for a billionaire to take. He does two things here. One, he shows, that he's kind of sympathetic to the regular man, right? Keeping your own money. And then two, he also shows implicitly the importance of billionaires. Because if billionaires aren't picking up 50% of the tax base because of what top 1% or 3% or whatever pay the majority of taxes, then the bottom 50% can't have it tax-free. So he does. That's how I took this. He did two things there. One, he kind of showed that we need billionaires, and then the other thing is he kind of showed that sympathetic side.
Yeah, Elon's already paid the most tax on the planet. So how much more tax do you want this guy to pay?
What?
I said Elon's already paid the most tax on the planet.
Yeah.
Out of anybody. So how much more tax do you want? It is very interesting.
Super interesting.
He made the point of like, hey, why is the nurse who works in New York City giving 30%? I want to know why I have to give 30% of my money away to the government. But anyways, let's send it off to Adara here as Tesla is just not performing well.
I have a couple other things to talk about here, but I want to start with the stock-specific news. It's Cracker Barrel. Now, we know Cracker Barrel got some love, eventually at least, from President Trump last year. He even made an AI version of himself as the logo. Well, now, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is weighing in on Cracker Barrel, and I guess how they had said here, quote, road trips are synonymous with summer, and our goal is to help guests take the trip, see the country, and make new memories. Now, if you've been following Sean Duffy at all, we know that as Secretary of Transportation, he's been very active about road trips for America 250. So he said that Cracker Barrel, quote, nailed it, and that this is a, quote, great way to encourage Americans to see the country. So, Sean Duffy likes Cracker Barrel, not only member of administration to have said that in the past. So CBRL at intraday highs here. I think kind of funny now that this has been mentioned. But let's talk as well here about USO and about the market, because now we have comments from the White House, I guess just spokespeople here on Iran, saying that President Trump has set clear red lines on Iran. Negotiations are proceeding nicely. Speaking of Trump and the White House, he has yet to start this cabinet meeting. It was supposed to start at 11 a.m., currently 11:37. Keeping posted, guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So here it is, man. Nice curve on the short. There goes Tesla. It worked for a couple of seconds on that reload at the volume-weighted average price. We had that trend line break, but as the market slowly starts to downtick, I was free rolling on that one. We double up our position to get back into our initial size, but now it's just not doing anything. It looks like it wants to sell. This shelf here isn't going to do us any favors if it doesn't hold up and we don't start to uptick. So I gave back all of this unrealized, which we're now just currently sitting at flat. You can see my average price be lifted from approximately $16.12 up to $16.25, right? So that's my 50% or my 100% reload from this partial right here. Now we're at that break even. We don't want to turn a winning trade into a loser, so we have to be prepared to get out of this one.
All right, ASTC ramping into the $12. We got 63 on. I doubled my position. We're not out of the woods. We're still very close to my entry. I originally put my stop below 11 and a quarter. Here's 12 again. There's 12.05 into the high of the frickin' day, 12.34. Looking for more, but we're having a lot of trouble clearing 12 decisively, quite frankly. So I want to put my stop now below 3/4. I think that's probably the right thing to do. Here comes 3/4. Let me see if the ask drops below that level as well. There's 12 again. I don't even have any profit takers, man. Let's go 12.33 for the next one there. So just in case it does pop off, and then we'll go 12. We'll go 12, yeah, 45, okay? There we go, looking for sevens. There's a seller locally at 7, mid-single digits here on ASTC. Can't clear the low single digit seller there, but continuing to watch higher lows on this one, looking for a little bit more. We're not getting that 12 clearing decisively at all. And in fact, even when we go above 12, we're being met with a wall. There it goes into, oh my days. No, I didn't even take out my orders there. I got excited because I saw 12 mid-teens, but there was no continuation. See the same thing, guys. We keep popping into 12. There's 12 mid-teens again. No continuation. Looking for 20s. I'm waiting at the quarter and then the third. There's the quarter. No continuation. There it is. Taking out all my orders in one fell swoop. Let's see what else we got here on ASTC. Can we go? We took the same size position that we got in originally, because I really did like the trend on this one. But here we go again, topping tail. That's going to be the end of the trade. And there it goes, failing. So like this trade, that was good. That was a good trade. Looking for a little bit more. ASTC is absolutely him right now, closing in on 400%. Look, man, we get into 12, then I start drawing all these biases that we're probably going to see 15 before the midday is up. And that's just a bias and a guess, and who knows exactly what's going to happen, right? But those are my biases, and I've seen a lot with these ones. They like they have that magnetic effect to the $5 whole dollar level for whatever reason. Get it, Fluffy. Please make growling sounds again. Please, I live for it.
What Fluffy say?
Like the growling sounds, like ripping, and like all these like weird sound effects that I make. I enjoy them. It is what it is, man.
Oh,
Tisha, where have you been, Tisha?
Tisha Perkins?
Tisha freaking Perkins is back in the house, man. 100% Sharif. I think so as well. I think you're agreeing with me that we're going to see 15. I love when Tisha's in the house. When Bovin, Tisha, Casey, Grunfeld, Scott H. Who else, man? I'm missing. We got, there's more, man. Lemon Trader as well. He's in the house. Obviously, Fluffsters. We love Lele as well. Shout out to Leandra. All the OGs in the house. Of course, the OG Darwin cannot be forgotten because he is, like, literally the OG, right? Like, he's been there probably watching for us longer than I've been on the show. So shout out to the man. Let's look at some looks over here. Once it goes over 12, there isn't much wall, says Lemon Family. I don't know, Lemon Family. You're absolutely right, because it just ripped into another high day. There's 1246. ASTC's on its horse, man. And there's 1349. If you are not using hotkeys, there's 1438. It just moved $2 quick as you like, and it makes my trade look like absolute garbage, having gotten out at the 12s. 1438 level up. This is the halt parameter. It needs to stay at this level, though, for longer. Still 1438. Limit up. Need it to stay 6-7 more seconds at this level. Wow.
6-7.
ASTC. 6-7 more seconds. 482%. Going on 500. Bless you, Joseph Options.
Thank you.
What a rip ASTC is, man. Bless you.
Man, these allergies, man.
What happened, Joey?
Nothing, my guy. I just got some allergies.
What do you take for allergies?
Nothing.
You don't take anything?
No.
Reactin, Claritin, Benadryl?
No, I just sneeze it out, man.
You just sneeze it out, eh?
Yeah, you know, stug it out.
That's
all right, guys.
Fabian's laughing. He's like,
there it is.
He suffers from that as well.
I should hit the mute button.
I'm going to hit
just
that.
Just come quick. Eat local honey, says Ray. Sorry, I can't even.
What?
Collection. All right, guys. What do we got going on here? I got to give a shout out. Yeah, Gorv, you're right. Don't take medicine. Medications take Joe. Exactly. Bang. There it is. We have to get out of this bad boy here momentarily, as Tesla doesn't look like it wants to hold up. So my guy Gorev, I mean, we should have took some more off and just ran to the fences. So there it is. Unless we start to climb up here, then we're going to get prepared to just exit this position here on TSLA. We tried the ad. No go on that one. On that trend line break at the volume rated average price. Right time, right place, just not right sentiment. So I'm going to be heading over to small cap land and avoiding some of these tech names. And then Bitcoin's starting to come back in a little bit here too. So I got to give a shout. You're right, Gaurav. I got to give a shout out. Sharif did his little his small cap team. I got to make sure I holler at some of you guys. We have Los Polios, Hermanos. You know who it is. It's our guy Gaurav, who's always in the chat.
Don't forget about Jesse Hernandez, okay?
It's Martinez, bro. Don't insult him like that. That's crazy.
Sorry,
it's my team member, bro. You just.
I think he's great, bro. He's one of my favorite.
Yeah, well,
he chirps at you.
Clearly not. You got his name wrong.
My bad. There he is. This is crazy. Sorry, man. I'm sorry.
I'm not done yet, Hangry Life and Lemons family. Man. Everyone else in there. We got Chris Onion. Everybody in there. My boy Tony Igro fighting. Who else do we got? Where's Ryan O'Day been at as of late, man? I haven't seen that guy in the chat. Jesse Hernandez.
Sorry.
It's crazy work. I mean, hey, man, it's called Espresso. Yeah, we got some of that. Taylor, everyone else in the chat. I hope everyone, trust me, I didn't forget about you, even if I didn't give you a shout out here today. And we obviously got Bravely over there on TikTok. But yeah, guys, let's rock and roll. Upticks, downticks, and a lot going on here as Bitcoin pulls back in towards the volume-weighted average price. Let's see if we can find somewhat of a rebound. Do we engage in this bad boy at this point? Ooh, I don't know. It's awfully tempting. But as I mentioned, we've reloaded here on Tesla. We want this trade to work out for us. But what we have on the 5-minute time frame is consecutive lower highs. When is it really going to start to work on our favor? If we, by any chance, have any form of an opportunity to sit on the backside of this trend and not breach this horrible shelf that we're looking at the pre-market lows, then maybe that'll be our time to shine here, Sharif. Sorry, I got to sneeze, brother. I'll send it off to you here.
Yeah, of course. I booked Saturday morning One Academy at the Well, eh? Have you been to One Academy yet? Have you? Yeah, have you been? I went to Sweat and Tonic there a few weeks ago.
Oh, actually, I walked past it the other day at the Well. Yeah. It's right by. It's like right beside the Arcadia. Arcadia is like a art kind of like nature art thing.
Oh, then I definitely would not know what that is. But no, seriously though, it's
the Well was popping when the last time I was there.
Have you been to One Academy?
I've never been to One Academy, but I was
apparently it's really good. It's like more. Have you been to Barry's? Kind of like that.
Selena was at Barry's in the UK, and there's a lot of Barry's here. You know what I enjoy doing?
What?
Orange Theory. I had a lot of fun with Orange Theory.
In my area. I've never actually been into it.
It's actually a lot of fun because it's like a competition.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, there's like a leaderboard to see.
Oh, yeah. So kind of like CrossFit.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I'm excited for this. All right, we got to go to Adara because she has news.
Just beware here, guys. NASDAQ near day lows. USO getting another bit of a pop here after President Trump reportedly tells PBS News that Iran would not be getting sanctions relief in exchange for giving up highly enriched uranium. So they want Iran to give up this highly enriched uranium without getting any sanctions relief in return. Again, in case you guys missed it a couple hours ago, the White House Rapid Response Team on X denied unequivocally any report suggesting that the U.S. and Iran were near a memorandum of understanding here to end the conflict. Back to you.
I don't think we have Dave's Hot Chicken, Scott Thomas.
Yeah, we do. We have Dave's Hot Chicken
I didn't even
here.
know.
Yeah.
A Denny's opened up in my area, man.
A Denny's?
Yeah.
Denny's is trash.
I haven't seen a Denny's around here in a minute. Like, isn't there one in Niagara Falls?
Yeah,
that was it.
It's so
one at Yonge and Shepherd now, man. Like right on the corner. Go ahead.
There's a Denny's like right by Eaton Center as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Shout out to Denny's.
Interesting.
Do they?
ASTC's open. New high a day, 50.94, dropping back down to halt level, guys. Don't forget what the halt level is. It got defended to a T, and there it goes again to 1640. It is up 533%, failing 16 for now. Zagging. It's got a lot of support, though. We could be squeezing the hell out of the shorts. They're in trouble here. They're on the ropes. They may go down like Fraser. Who knows? Let's watch for pullbacks. I'm seeing a lot of support currently at 15 2/3, 15.5. Here comes 16 again. I can't quite see. Limit up as Joseph. This guy, you're making me laugh, bro.
Why, bro?
Because, bro, you're leaking all over that bad boy right there. All the electronics around you. 1642 high, 43 high. Oh, my days. I can't even see what limit up is, man. It just doesn't hang out for all that long. but there is support here. We've got a lot of higher lows on the 5-second chart, 16 and a quarter. Perhaps use 16 as you're out. There's a few bottoming tail candles, all of which are getting bought aggressively off 16 here. So ASTC, unbelievable. It's still getting bought up off 16. $0.5 resistance, and there it goes into 1689, 17. Here comes 18.
19.
Oh my goodness! This is absolutely ripping. It's this is as good as it gets here in terms of small cap
punch up
gappers.
there, my guy.
No, I
576%.
I don't like to punch in at highs,
I'm
man. It's
obviously
just
being
not my
sarcastic.
move there. But I'm definitely looking for something to come in.
jeez.
But hey, if you want something a bit more calm, shout out Niraj, I think it was, calling out Hoth. HOTH, just ramping through the dollar there into $1.04. Shout out to that call. It had been basically a tough trade, I want to say, until maybe about 11:20 when it reclaimed VWAP. It had a lot of topping tail candles. It still kind of does, but hey, man, you're up at 105, 106. Hoth is on its horse into 107. Watch out for that. AIM is ripping. What else? Apps is ripping. We got Adam James Abroad. I'm so sorry I didn't even look at that super chat. Adam James Abroad, ASTC, not much in the way to 18. Like, you literally called that at the right time because it's a 17.24 high, dipping back down now, though, into 15.5. I don't really see a whole lot of support until one of these levels shows up. I'm talking about the halt level. That halt level is just a little bit below 14.5, but now you have the 10 EMA on the 1 showing 15, but on the 5, it is substantially below that at around 12.75. Shout out to my main man, Adam James Abroad, calling that one to a T. But here we go again, Joseph. 16.5 showing up here on ASTC. A lot of strength in these markets, man, especially in small cap gapper world. A lot to choose from. Choose carefully, though, because, well, we know how these quins can do. So I would typically say, hey, you know, tag me with what you're trading, but I guess we already kind of know what people are looking at. Gamecraft Nico, damn, Sharif, we lost that trade, looked good. Hey, man, I made some good money on this one, man. I didn't catch the best part of the trade, but I took good size here. I took a little bit more than I typically do. But here comes 17, and again, guys, I don't think this is done yet. We could see $20 here, Joey.
Right,
I mean, you get into 17.25, you clear 15.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 20.
All right, let's party, man.
You gonna get in?
Well, not right at this second. What are we?
Okay.
What's the ticker again on this bad boy?
ASTC on the
Yes,
NQ.
okay, I see that with 91.2 million shares. Oh, that thing's up
Hoth
500
is ripping. Hoth is ripping.
AIM is still climbing as well, too. So aim that one there, Sharif. BRTX. And then sure enough, we got Tesla still holding on by a thread. We did climb up into 31s. Let's see if we can continue to move a little bit higher. But the NASDAQ not helping us, nor is IBIT. I mean, we reloaded this when we talked about it on multiple occasions. As soon as this support level snaps, we're at a dodge. So a truth or something along those lines to help your boy out would be absolutely fantastic, Mr. Trump. So we'll be patient. It's only a matter of time until some form of a headline steps in. And then moments after, as I called it out before, the opposing party or someone even in the same area says, no, that's not true at all. It's the continuous back and forth of what we've been experiencing. And I see a lot of people in the chat, they're like, man, this stuff is annoying. I said that from the second week. And it's the exact same thing that we went through with the NVDA chips. They're getting them with China. They're not getting them. They're getting them. They're not getting them. And is it still going? Why aren't we going on this thing here? Let's pull this bad boy up there all the way 1750. That 1750 break there, Sharif, as it continues to climb. There he is. You're in at 50s. You're in at 48s.
I'm going to give it to 17. I'm in very small size.
I
have to get out.
You got to get it. I thought you said, okay.
It's down into 15s, bro. So I had to.
Yeah, it dropped real quick there. You get him to 17. So it just dropped $1 relatively quick. But there it is, the volatility stepping in. A halt number one. But this consolidation, if it continues to hold, we might have to get involved with this. Bubin, keep giving your boy Sharif some shout outs because I'm going to be getting involved in some of these momentum small cap plays nonetheless, because with this tech names just chopping around and too hindered by essentially what we have going on with the conflict in the Middle East and all these other things floating around, let's get involved with something that doesn't even care what the rest of the market is doing, and not some of these other small cap names. NNBC. What else do we got? APPS. I know our boy Adam James has been talking about this all morning. I'm pretty sure he sent out a super chat with AP. Is it going there? Or is it going
made another high,
there
bro.
It goes.
It moves $1 in a second. That's the thing. Whatever algo is just able to manipulate this is insane. It's just so hard to catch. You got to catch bottoms on this thing.
I thought it halted, but
I fat fingered here. Yeah. You got to catch bottoms on this one. So I did pick it up after I got out at 16.50. We did scalp into 17.25. But look, it just looks like a bad trade here. This is a buy and hold, but you got to have the compunction to be able to spot the areas of support and resistance. This is on the way to 20. That's my bias. You don't have to listen to me, obviously. Seller at 89 here locally. They just got clipped. $18 right now. ASTC is really going. Neil, this was the one that was moving in the morning, right? This is the pre-market one. You don't typically see that, guys. Usually when these ones are moving in the pre, they don't look as good or trade as well into the afternoon. An exception is ASTC, certainly. This one, Neil pointed out to me, I think bright and early, 8:10, 8:15 in the morning. It had already been going. There's 1838, Joey. Here comes $20. We're going to hit 20. I don't think we're going to make quadruple digits on the day. Percentage-wise, 633% or thereabouts. But you can get clipped on this one super quickly. You can get in, and then 1 second you could be out, $1, $2. That's how quickly this one moves. So you got to make sure you.
Let's see if we can rock and roll on this, man. We go in small size too there, Sharif, on this bad boy. Continue to climb. What do we grab? 22s. Bang. Oh, it comes back aggressively. Man, we're not taking anything crazy, but we're gonna ride this this wave over here, guys, to see if we can get an additional pop. And then if we do happen to get everything working in our favor, it's upticking, but I want to see some more momentum. We're printing 42s on the tape now. I feel like Sharif, as we go ASTC, I better get it over on our screen, but other than that, you guys can see where I'm currently sitting in right now. Rock and roll. Halt up for your boy. 50s there. 73s. There it is. Bang, bang. Wham, bam. We'll take some off there, Sharif, my boy, but we're going to try to diamond hands this into a halt parameter as we rock and roll. Luis,
comes 20.
Where's
Luis?
Where is this guy?
We need Luis
this morning, man. Bring him in. There we go. We're rocking ASTC as we continue to climb. Click, clack. Adair, what do you got?
President Trump just welcomed everyone to the 12th cabinet meeting of his second administration. So that cabinet meeting has just begun. President Trump sitting there. People are dancing, not at the cabinet meeting. But I also want to mention here that we're seeing some reports again from Iranian state media. So be aware, be careful. From Iran's Fars News that even though President Trump might declare success in the talks, Iranian negotiators are saying there are still some unresolved issues between the countries. Back to you.
To look, Neil says this one used the best key. I'm assuming it's space. It's a little of everything, Neil says. We'll read the press release on this one as soon as the price action calms the hell down. It's 1975. In my books, Joey, 1975s in the world of small cap gappers is a glance at 20. I'm not saying 20 is going to be the top. I'm not saying that at all, but it's dropping here at 1853. You're still in the money, ironically enough.
Yeah, I grabbed like $1 or something on it, but I mean, there it is. Where was Luis at this morning? Is he in here today? Maybe he's not coming by today. It is Wednesday. Yeah, maybe the long weekend got him.
Long weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he trades North American markets. I'm like,
does he trade North American markets? He trades the American markets. So I was thinking, hey, maybe the long weekend got him like they got Mike Peter Ryder, because he came in late, strolling in late on Tuesday morning. He's like, man, I knew what you were up to immediately. But there it is, Scalp City on this bad boy, 621%. We're still partying on that as it tanks aggressively now. Where's my boy Adam James? I don't know, man. Wait. Oh, look at this thing just drop a couple
dollars. I told you,
just like
man.
That. That's why we get at it.
Touch.
That's why we get out of Dodge on that bad boy. But what isn't really doing anything for us right now, Sharif, is Elon and company. I know a lot of people are happy that he pays the most tax in the world, but anyways, aside from that, let's see what we got going on here. Bang, trend line. Has it breached or has it been broken yet? I don't know. Where's Ramin? I haven't seen her today. No one knows where she's at? Yeah.
She's, I think she's working from home because her computer was active. And typically what I do is I leave her hate messages and stuff on the computer that she sees later, right? She comes into the URL, she's typing in a website, it says, hi, Ram, I hate you, or something like that.
Yeah.
She likes that kind of
That's right. Hey, Neil.
Hoth is ripping, guys.
I watched The Mandalorian. Fabian, I also watched Obsession as background noise. Yeah, it was all right.
Donald.
There is, yeah, we'll have that guy up there.
Got the cabinet meeting. Hey, look at him.
Just do something. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait for something to come in, and then hopefully we get a little bit of a volatility spike and a big-time recovery in this market. That's what we're looking for right now.
What's up, Fabian? Fabian's going to come in hot. Okay.
You got the mic on, my boy?
Movie time. Let's go. Fabian's going to take the Katina seat. He's got the Randy mic, and I have no idea what he's going to talk about, but I'm quite excited.
So what did you think of your movies?
You're going to talk about movies. Get it, Fabian.
Did you hear it? Can you stay in the middle? What's up, Faye?
So what did you think of the movies?
What movies?
What did I think of it?
Yeah.
It was all right, man. I mean, it's nothing to write home about, but it wasn't horrible. It was a lot better than what I thought it was going to be.
Which one, Mandalorian or Obsession?
Obsession.
Yeah?
Mandalorian is like Disney. We all know that Disney ruined Star Wars. So getting into that.
That's a statement. But I did read that. It wasn't as well received. I was doing a little Disney review on Tuesday? I was just looking because they had the release on the weekend, right?
Yeah.
I was.
I'll probably be waiting for like DVD or streaming.
DVD?
Yeah.
DVD?
Does it not make it onto a streaming service first, like Disney?
It'll probably like in 3 months, depending on how well it does right now. They might just like rush it into streaming.
Interesting.
But if it does really well, they'll like, extend the theater time. But yeah, okay.
Interesting.
All right, yeah.
And I guess there's no hot takes, so.
Hey, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't watch movies. Just like Joey, that's probably gonna have the hot takes. Otherwise, it's gonna be Adara or Neil, right?
Ooh.
Go ahead. See ya. The only person I didn't mention.
That's okay. I just think that I was talking to Fabian about this the other day. Star Wars, yes, I think Disney kind of did ruin Star Wars, but Lucasfilm Animation, the goated one that aired on Cartoon Network, the Clone Wars, is like peak.
Peak.
Nothing can peak that.
Oh, Neil's leaving.
Oh.
Neil's leaving.
Yeah, that is
excited.
Oh, you upset
Yes.
Neil.
Oh my God.
He agrees. She cooked. Based.
I think it is the best ever. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's madness.
I thought Neil was leaving. I thought he got mad.
Yes, same.
Right? He went and dabbed
I
Sia.
thought he was
I was
gonna
like,
go
oh
cause
my
chaos
days,
over there.
what's happening?
Guys, Neil approval is peak.
I thought Neil was going to throw a hook or something.
I thought Neil was gonna throw a hook as well. Not at a woman, obviously, but you got up pretty aggressively, Neil. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know.
That was like on-site movement right there. Like, what'd you just say to me? On-site.
Yeah, like he got up aggressive. Anyway, President Trump is speaking. He's pontificating there. He's behind us on the screen, and that means we're time to go up to happening now for it with Adara, and then Neil is going to drop his lesson of the day.
Shout out to the prequels, my personal favorite piece of Star Wars. I do want to mention as well here, President Trump is not saying anything of note. He's saying things we usually hear from him about drug prices, about immigration policies, about how the market is at highs. So really nothing new to report here. If he does say anything new or if he addresses any of these flip-flop reports that we've had all day, which we'll get to in a second on Iran, I'll keep you posted. But in the meantime, SPY continuing to drip lower. Just kind of chopping and churning to the downside. Here is the NASDAQ doing the same thing, but NASDAQ actually looks like it's basing out a little bit better here. That 725 halves level serving as a bit of support. If you look at USO, kind of, as of this point, nowhere near where we closed or even the pre-market highs. So USO weakness certainly happening. I want to mention here some of these headlines. So we had this move down here in the morning on oil around 8:15, move up in the market as Iranian State TV reported that they have a draft of the initial unofficial framework for a memorandum of understanding with the U.S., which notably did not address anything about repayment of Iran or enriched uranium. So with that in mind, a couple hours later, White House rapid response team comes through. First, they indirectly deny the reports. Then they directly deny the reports, saying that the MOU that Iranian media, quote unquote, released is a complete fabrication. In all caps, facts matter. Again, if President Trump addresses any of this, I'll keep you posted. But as of right now, he's just saying his usual spiel of things. Only time we're going to see him publicly today, other than that, participating in off-camera policy meetings. Salesforce. This is Mark Benioff. Will buyers or sellers be enforced tonight? Will the stock be on Mark Benioff or Mark Benioff? We'll have to find out here again. 4 p.m. is when that report comes out. Should be an interesting look. Marvell and Zscaler, they already reported. Marvell and Snowflake also reporting after the bell. I already have earnings previews out on X for Salesforce, as you can see right here, and Marvell. And the Snowflake earnings preview should be out in about 2 minutes here on X. Zscaler, speaking of which, still hanging out near lows. This thing is down more than 30%, and it does not want to recover. It broke the key 130 level, and when I say key, I mean $10 level here, like it was nothing. It has not really looked back. So Zscaler looking pretty weak. Some of these other earnings names to review here from earlier. PDD, which is pretty darn depressing to look at if you're long, that's for sure, as it tries to bounce off of lows, but not super effectively. BBWI, if I can type it right, Bed Bath & Beyond, this one gapped up, struggling a little bit here. DKS is a sporting look if you're short, but this does not look like there's a lot of volume on this either. And then last but not least here for these pre-market names, I'll mention ANF because they also reported earnings. And they're actually doing quite well. So really mixed bag for earnings. Let's hope these tech and SaaS plays that happen after the bell don't trigger SaaSmageddon 2.0. But in the meantime, we're going to bring on Neil and his lesson of the day. So may the force be with you as we send you over to Neil.
Remember the good old days when Dick's Sporting Goods was a stronger stock and had staying power in the uptrend? No, it doesn't anymore. It doesn't really matter. First of all, I want to say that Sia has fantastic taste when it comes to Star Wars content. That is obviously true. It should go without saying, because if you like the Clone Wars, then you have a good taste. But I want to say something, because I think if you looked at today, like buying any dips, you can get away with it if you were really patient and had really good timing. You could have eked it out today. It's possible. We had some viewers in there say that. You know, I like to think was able to be a little bit disciplined today. But there's something about an uptrend that you've got to be able to understand. That if you are of the mind that if something's an uptrend, I'm just going to look long every single day. I'm going to use Rocket Labs because it's maybe the best example of this. So go from the point that it breaks out here at $85 on the massive volume. Let's throw this day away because obviously that's a great long. The next day, breakout trade, easy long. The next day it's gap down, but all it does is hold a pre-market low and then it's a breakout trade. So there's nowhere in this day that you're long and you lose. You're not long and you lose here on day two. The next day, at the open, it sells off, holds the prior day close, and then bounces to the upside. So the dip buy, probably intact if you're a traditional dip buy trader, because it goes right into here, doesn't really make any fresh lows, doesn't really stop you out down there, goes. Breakout trade, gaps down, holds prior low. On a down day, it holds the prior low. So again, you could have lost on this day just buying some longs, but eventually it just holds at the first obvious support level. After this, it's a fail of the high that holds the prior day close pretty easily. Then you get a dump off day. You're just losing on this day. You know, if you're the most patient person on the planet, here on the 19th, maybe you could have had a win, but you're probably just going to find yourself in trouble. If you manage to sit it out, fair enough, but probably an L day there. Breakout, you're going to be long the following day. You're going to win almost anywhere you grab it. You'll have a bit of another hold to support kind of day after that, so maybe a muted up day. Then an easy gap up and continuation day off the open, an inside day where it holds a prior high, like good structure, and then a capitulation day today. That's a lot going on where you're probably rinsed trying to buy, because you're probably trying it in the prior high, you're probably trying it at the prior close, and it isn't until it gets to the prior day bottom, like maybe you eked it out, maybe. But it's a rinse day, and there's a rinse day there, but you know, small wins, good wins, small wins, good wins, small win, small win, good one. Let's call that one small, and then a big breakout. You're really dealing with a lot of potential if you're just structure or long trader. Like you'll hear me often say it's the short till it's not. One day you're gonna lose. If you play an upward trend like this where you're just long after this day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, well, I probably just miscounted. But you really only have 2 very bad days out of 12. That is an 83% win rate. Now, half of those are going to be small wins relative to the kind of move that you're getting on the loss days. So when you're looking at that type of a strategy, where I'm just looking for a long every day in that upward trend, or vice versa in the short, you only have to ask yourself, on the days that you lose here, can you hold, like, you don't even have to say, well, if I lose on this day or I lose on this day, I can only give back one. You could probably give back a couple on that kind of an uptrend and still be all right, right? Like there were 10 up days there. If on your 2 losing days, you're giving up a couple of days, but not all of it, then you're going to be positive in the long run. If you're swinging this, you know, whatever, you're probably fine. If you're swinging it and you enter it on the second day, it's been all good. On a day trading aspect, a lot of times in the uptrends, you just have to be able to survive the down days if you're a long-only trader in stocks like these, or in trades like that in general. And I could have pulled up Micron as an example here. Right? Like if you look at Micron since the bottom, like there's been, like just look at the last week, right? There's your little bit of a bottom. Let's not count that update. It's like 3 slow grinding updates, explosive, and then there's your down day on Micron. If you traded Micron to the long side after that reversal, we have 4 good long days in a row, right? Like dip, whole prior close, basically just breakout and higher lows. This one here, until the close, it was a long pretty much all day long. So like, how could you have lost long? How could you have lost long? And then it's a monster day yesterday. If you were long those 4 days, there should be no way that on the 5th day you're losing enough, just given this day here, that you lose it all. But imagine this day was half of the size. You still wouldn't want to give back more than 1 or 2 of those days. Every time that you get a win, or every time that you have a series of wins, or a positive week, or a positive month, or your best day ever, whatever, it's only as good as what you're measuring it against. And so today, days like today are those types. If you're a long trader, today is the day that you're measuring it against. Almost certainly. Like look at any of these stocks. What are you measuring? If you're a long trader in Micron, and you only went long, that's what you're measuring against. If you were long on, I'll just use the UFO ETF, right? Like if you were long space stocks every single day coming in here, like which is the one that's going to stand out and say, okay, well, my performance today is going to determine how I was doing in this uptrend. It's this day. That's the one that's going to end up mattering. So that's the way that you've got to measure yourself ultimately. It's your relationship with the days where your strategy, the one that pays you, how you get paid, how you make your money, or how you have made your money. The days that doesn't work and basically could not have worked, these are the days that determine what kind of a trader you're going to be. Because ultimately your approach is your approach. There are guys in MLB who can strike out a bajillion times. Why? Because they hit bombs and they take walks. Adam Dunn, that guy swung and missed. You've probably never heard of him. The guy swung and missed a ton. I mean, the guy would strike out a couple hundred times a year back when it wasn't an every year thing and it wasn't an everyday occurrence. But he hit 40 bombs and he would be first or second in the league in walks. He was able to make it work because he had a formula that allowed him to basically swing and miss so much. He'd hit enough home runs to make it count. And that's what you have to be able to do. So I know today is a long trader, probably a rough one for a lot of people. But if you were able to keep it in the pocket is the way I like to say it, right? Like if you were able to make sure that you didn't have any egregious losses relative to what you make, then that's what's going to give you that staying power. So it's a good evaluation type thing, the same way you want to evaluate yourself after a good day. This is the kind of session for a long only or long bias trader that really will give you some solid information. Now, by the way, I already finished this lunch. Come on. Hopefully this NASDAQ gets all the way to view up. We had like a Greek thing. So there was basically like little skewers, which I've already polished. It was rice. I didn't eat the rice. And then we had like a little not a wrap, or what, I'm missing the word here, with a wrap to go with it. It was kind of a Greek salad, sort of-ish, not really, but close enough to how you would construct it. But I'll give it a solid 7.2. Chicken was a little dry, but it was still pretty tasty. I had to like it. It was a little bit dry, but that's the only thing I could say negative about the lunch was that the chicken was a little bit dry. But it was tasty. The market wants VWAP flatbread. That's what it was. It was flatbread. I'm like, why can't I come up with what we're eating? It was flatbread. And I want to remind everybody that Sia has fantastic taste in Star Wars content. We'll throw back to the midday. What?
Nice.
Neil's getting upset because Neil's mentioning it more than once.
Yeah,
like, what's going on over
insane,
here?
Man.
He's
It's
calling
one
out
take.
your girl Sia. Like, what's the problem, man?
No
I mean,
problem.
like, you know.
No
This
problem,
is a
man.
great day back in the studio. Thank you so much.
Oh.
She's back, ladies and gentlemen. Sia. What's your last name, Sia?
I want to hear you say it. It's S-H-E-T-E.
Sethi. Sethi? Sethi? S-E-T. Say it
No,
again.
S-H-E-T-E.
S-H-E-T-E. Shate?
Yeah, you got it right. Shete, yeah.
Okay. All right. Get it, Sia Shete. Here we go. We're on AIM. All right, I'm caught in a halt here, up halt on Hoff. I'm in at the high, so let's see how this ends up doing. I'm in at 48 on AIM. AIM topping, tailed into 60, came back into the 10 EMA. I stop out below 45, looking for a reclaim of 50. Let's see what we get. We won't get upset. Shout out to my man Neil with a hot lesson of the day. AIM up 105%, looking to do some more damage. Halt time on Hoff. Okay, 12:11:40, meaning we'll be open earliest 12:16:40. Halt price $1.36. Current cap showing 141. Let's see how Hoth opens up. Currently, the tap is showing some positivity. Now 142. Hoth is on the precipice of taking out that 100% area. It's up 92% and change right now. Need to be on alert here. Let's see if we can kind of get that. I also want to put a beak wetter here at 50, just as a liquidity tester here. 49.
Sure.
And go ahead, Joey, get it. What's going on there? What's Tesla doing?
Yeah, finally, man. We've been sitting in this dog's breakfast for quite some time here, man. We'll hit the Stone Cold. We haven't hit that here today. As that reload, it took some time, guys. We told it at the break of 1620. We also don't want to get too ahead of ourselves right now, as it is starting to slowly climb back. The trend line is broken, but there we go. Reload City on that one. We like that, Sharif, as we held on to the initial position off of the lows right there. Just took some time for the ball to get rolling as the overall market is starting to recover as well, too. So let's go. Donald, truth something here, my guy. And then we have this downtrend in IBIT. Let's see if that breaks and if that's worthy of engaging. But other than that, guys, you can see this 5-minute trend line being broken. And then now we have a candle with some strength opening on the backside of things. So we like that. Bang, yeah. Let's save the changes here and let's pull this up and zoom in a little bit more as we slowly start to recover. I thought this support level was going to be broken, to be honest with you, and that's why I was prepared to get out. But there we go, a couple strong upticks. At this pace, I have to Deontay Wilder this all the way up into 445. So that would put us around 1666 on TSLL, and I'm prepared to do so. We won't be taking anything. It's either boom or bust, my guy.
Boom or bust. You notice that the Amazon app shows you now how many stops away your guy is? Like 4 stops away, this stuff.
What'd you order? Okay, you don't know. I mean, you don't know.
You'll see, because I'll probably be wearing it
What would you get at Lululemon?
A lot of shorts. I got 4 shorts and 2 tops.
Would that run you?
How much did I spend?
$350.
$478.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's it. You could. Each short is 68. One was actually 78, excuse me. So I got 4. You'll see them. And I got 2 tank tops at 68 each. All right,
I'll make that.
Hoth is open. Here we go. Looking for continuation, 44. Can we get 45? I'm waiting at 45 here. There's a huge seller at 44 on Hoth. Watch out, there's 45. Oh, I took out too much too quickly. Dang it. All right, looking for a dip back in. Not a bad trade, though, especially from that 37 pop. Let's see if it fills the gap. The gap, I believe, is at 37 to 38. Here comes 38. Let's see if it defends, okay? Looking for a gap fill here, or at least a transient gap fill. Right away, popping right up. The buyers were stepping up there. Let's get in. Let's give this a try. Where do we get in at? Showing 48. There's 50, Joseph. Selling a little bit over here. There's 55. Limit up is 58 on Hoth. Limit up, just saw it flash, 58. We're back in at 45s. Looking for the halt up here. Pack in the patience. Anything below my entry ends the trade for me. Let's go ahead and put that in. 47, 46, yeah, it's going to come back down, it looks like. So 44 is all stop out, which is fine. We did get a nice scalp out through the highs there, but it doesn't look like it's going to hold up, and we'll stop out of that. And I think I'm going to stop out as well here of AIM as it's losing trend. So 45 pennies is going to end the trade for me there. We'll give back a little bit there on AIM. Profitable trade on Hoth. Let's let this one manifest a little bit. Let's see exactly what the trend is on the 5-second chart. Switching to the 5. Buyer locally at 37. Double bottom 37.38. Resistance obviously at 50. That's not surprising to anybody. I think if it loses 37.38, you probably should punch out. Give this one a try. Again, in at 48, looking for continuation. Let's put 52. Let's put 55. There's 52 again. There's 53. Liking the re-entry on this one. Looking for continuation. Anything below, as I mentioned, the double bottom at 38 ends the trade. High of day 55. Aggressive seller at 53. Can't shake the seller at 53. I'm going to add into the dips. I'm thinking 41 area support over here because that's a higher low. The stop out, though, is 38, but there is a higher low at 41. Let's see if we hold up here at this higher low at 47. Back into 53. Let's watch the sellers now. That aggressive seller is earmarking 53 as an area resistance, but we are putting in higher lows, mind you. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to try to bottom pick here off the area lows and try to ride it through the $0.50, Joey.
All right, man. I feel you, Save Man. Let's see what Rainmaker, you got that message, deleted? I mean, I don't think that's too, but anyways, aside from that, there it goes. Come on, break through this pivot. You can see that there is somewhat of a resistance zone here, guys. We have TSLL almost up 4% on the day. Another strong uptick, and we'll hit that marker. That's going to put Tesla up 2% here on the day. And then I told you guys, we're waiting for this potential new high of the day right there, or it's going to establish a lower high, which is totally fine. We reloaded right here at the volume-weighted average price, was just break even at some point, but this is the one trade that we're going to plan to rock and roll with here today. And we talked about accuracy standpoint. I mean, we did take a little bit of a W on ASTC, nothing big, but hey, we took 3 losses on this name before. 4th time was a charm, which I typically don't go with, and I should have took some more off, but there it goes. It started to rip a little bit higher. It is what it is, but then we had a break even on SMR. That thing sold off, now starting to recover back to VWAP, but then IBIT, we were looking for the continuation short, and that was a no-go on that one, but this trend line starting to come back into play as we head right back into the middle of this zone. I love this look as a potential 3-bar play, right? So we have that uptick, breath 1. Now let's see if we can breach this and break this pivot, which there is a little bit of a resistance zone. You can see the correlation between some of the pre-market levels that we're continuously knocking on the door of, and we can't seem to breach. So what do we need? Maybe a pullback in towards VWAP and a liquidity grab. I mean, we've been sitting in it for how long? Why not sit in it for a little bit longer to see if it's going to continue to move higher and higher? Now, I want to pull up the SPY and the NASDAQ to see what we have going on over there. It's pretty cool stuff. I mean, there it is. So yeah, we're pulling back aggressively. We'll hold on to it. There goes SMR. Here comes Bitcoin to the downside. And there's the SPY, hovering below the volume-weighted average price for the majority of the session. All right, not too good of a look. But I mean, what else do you expect? Look at the run that we've been on. I don't know what this pure garbage is. Here it is. There's the NASDAQ. Here's the SPY. It's nice when things just go up. And this isn't even bad. Look at this from the grand scheme of things. This is absolutely nothing. It's a slight pullback, and it's unfortunate that Tesla, we don't see any form of a rotation into this bad boy. Do I add a little bit more if this closes as an indecision print? I don't think so. We'll be patient. We're not going to get too crazy. We still want to stay within our systems. But you get 20% in the span of a month and a bit here on the SPY. That's a couple years of return if you talk about an average, and the exact same thing in the NASDAQ. This thing was absolutely parabolic, and I love it. Unfortunately, I don't own any of it just yet, but you get 31%. Gets hit the heaviest, but then performs the best. Yep. So I mean, you take those shots, but I believe if you put yourself in the right position, and that's just going with the NASDAQ and these tech names, even though they just get absolutely destroyed, like we're talking about NVDA. What is that thing at 210 from a high of 238? Like, are you kidding me? What's even going on? Did we forget about who's the king of the market caps? Just like that, Sharif, as you climb down 13, 14%? I mean, at some point, you're going to see a rotation. Has Apple surpassed NVDA yet? No, not even close.
Not even close, my boy.
I wouldn't say not close.
No, we're not close. 4.5.
Oh, it's 5.5.
Yeah, it was 5. I think it's down a little bit now, Joey, because 5.1 now.
5.1. Okay, yeah.
So the goggles. Where's the goggles?
The goggles. That is the one that we need to fear.
GOGL or GOG? Because they're fundamental 4.7.
Yeah.
So
what's GOG?
Like, I think they're usually the same, Joey. Let's check. 4.68, 4.668, 4.718.
Don't like combine.
Yeah, that's a good point there.
Tips to stay motivated during a bad trade day. There's always tomorrow, right? And also just get used to, dude, you know how many times I've said, bleep this, and like, let's just go do something else. It gets frustrating, but you eventually cool down, man. Cigarettes, said somebody, no, don't get drunk. But I mean, if you do that, go smoke a cigarette, but go touch grass. But drinking is not going to be the answer to your problems. Just go step away and just woo-saw that. Sit under a tree, and there's always tomorrow. Exactly. Touch grass.
Yeah.
Let's send things over as Tesla heads right back towards that key pivot level. Let's see what Adara has for us.
Marco Rubio just made some comments here about Iran. A little bit of a push lower in USO, nothing massive, but saying that President Trump's preference is to negotiate with Iran. They will continue to work on Iran diplomacy, but he did say, hey guys, remember, we do have other options, meaning there could be more warfare. But he also said results will be known with Iran in the next hours and days, so implying hopefully a speedy resolution to this conflict. He said there has been some progress made towards an agreement, at least in his opinion. Back to you.
Yo, Jesse is hilarious.
He's my type of people for sure. Like he's funny. He has that good
Called him
sarcasm.
Hernandez. He's like, reported immediately.
Oh, you got reported right away? That's crazy.
That's all
my
love,
guy,
man. Why is Marco Rubio talking about what President Trump wants to do when he's sitting right next to him? How about he talk for himself? Like, I don't get this, right? This is so funny.
There goes SMR, Sharif, past that $12 mark up to $12.13. So that was a nice recovery in new scale power. And let's break through this, man. Let's head towards that HOD and let's get things rocking and rolling here on Tesla. I mean, we've been sitting in it since 10:30 this morning. So it's 10:24 plus that reload approximately an hour later. How many times do you guys want me to mention the reload? Yeah, the UFC is it's under construction right now. So they're building the octagon.
Are they actually?
For the UFC event. Man, oh man, it's probably one of the best cards that you can construct.
Is it actually though?
It's absolutely insane. Yeah, you got every superstar. July something.
Oh, July. They're building it now?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You want to be prepared,
there's
right?
going to be a crowd.
It might even be June, to be honest with you.
How are they going to screen all those people that are going to come in there, man? That must be
limited.
a
It's limited, man.
for the Secret Service.
Yeah. It's a limited,
I figured it
limited
would be.
seats, right? So
Interesting.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be absolutely crazy. I don't care about the Conor McGregor comeback. I think Max Holloway pieces him up anyways. He's got the cardio and everything. Conor McGregor's been on like a 5-year bender, and I think he's going to come back and face Max Blessed. I don't know about that. June 14th is the date for that one. We're going to be looking forward to that.
He looks like he's in good shape, though.
He's always been in good shape. He's always hit the gym. There's a difference between good shape and fighting.
Fighting shape, 100%.
Right?
Agree. Yeah. Jesse, big shout out to my man. Jesse Martinez is good times, bro. I like that guy. I got to agree with Joey here, man. He is funny. Iran Parabolic says Texas Jet fan. Let's have a look at Iran. I put it on the note this morning, I think for the first time, maybe ever. But hey, man, Iran has been a retail darling as of late. Look, the 4-hour, it looks okay on Iran. I mean, it's a little consolidative going back even to late summer, early fall. You got a gnarly double top. But hey, basically since late May, no, even before that. I mean, we're off the lows. Let's just go March area low to the high. You're up over 100% on this thing, so I can completely get that. Let's look at the 5-minute on this, though. Yeah, so right into that high of the day, $65 on the dot. We did reject that at around 10 o'clock. Here we are again recovering beautifully off yesterday's closing print. I hope somebody had this trade. Look at this implied. All right, this would be an implied balance low because that's 10.25, so that's the first hour of trading. Look at this low. Low is 59.85 on this candle. I'm not saying, it's such an easy trade, but something you could have seen. What's yesterday's closing print? 59.80. The candle low, 59.85. I hope somebody took that off 60 or something because this is a move. You're $5 plus in the money. This thing's up 8.5%. Look, I mean, it's up on the day. It's fantastic, but it was probably a bit of a tougher grab for a lot of people. I'm assuming not everybody. Bottom picked this off $60, especially with a lot of resistance at 60.50. It could have stopped a lot of people out, but hey, 60.50 as well, a very clear area of resistance from the afternoon yesterday. 2 o'clock reject, 3:30 reject, after market high into 5:30, 6 reject, 6.50 was a staunchy area of resistance. Lo and behold, it's a new day, and all of a sudden that staunchy area of resistance flips to a staunchy area of support. 6.50, barely nary a closing print below that. In fact, no closing prints. Just a quick wick here and there. So Iran, fantastic look on the day. Not a name I'll be trading, but one that we can definitely show some love to. Ozan, all this talk happens as if he is not there, which is killing me. What money does to people is big. Yeah, it's just to me like, why are you talking about President Trump's like intentions and thoughts when he's right next to you? Let him speak. But maybe, I guess
he's been paying attention. Like, I feel like he's just always looking down.
President Trump?
Right? Now he's
he's nodding his head. You've got Bergham's dropping hotlines right now as Secretary of Energy. Shout out to Big Dougie Burgum there, former governor, obviously. He's sitting next to Rubio. We got President Trump next to him. I can't see exactly who's next to Big Bergie there, but when the camera pans over, we'll be able to look at that. Thoughts on VCIG, thinking of entering unless it goes below, says Iman U06. All right, so Bovin did bring VCIG to my attention. So here's the look right there. VCIG dipping into the volume weighted average price, give or take. And I don't like this, Bovin. I know you're holding. I know you're where your stop is. But this is basically an unbroken downtrend. I do see some possible support at 375-ish, just given the fact that the pre-market highs couldn't breach that level. Look, if it starts curling back up, breaking this trend line, let's see if it gets through 4. Here's what I'll do. I'll throw in an alert. So if this gets above, 398 or so, we'll be notified of that, and then maybe we can execute on VCIG. But for the moment, I don't really like it. I felt like somebody maneuvered in there behind us. You got the goggles on. What's going on? Did you look more into that Ferrari crap that we saw yesterday?
I don't mind it.
It's all rumors. I got to send you a video. We got to go to Adara because she's got news. But the former board chief or chairman of the board of Ferrari, in Italian though, I got to send you his comments. I saved it on X because I think that it's going to be quite eye-opening. We got to go to Adara with news.
AMZN popping higher here, guys. Semi-analysis, which is just a publication here, they have a long catalyst report on Amazon called, quote, Anthropic growth and Bedrock mix drive AWS margins higher while peers lag. So specifically looks like Amazon Web Services and Anthropic-related catalyst here. Semi-analysis likes either way here, guys. Amazon pushing to the upside, breaking intraday highs.
All right, guys, let's get into this here. I mean, we talk about new scale power, breaking trend, and then now you're starting to climb a little bit higher, but it's been a tough one in the NASDAQ and the SPY with the inability to breach the volume-weighted average price throughout the majority of this session. We now have Tesla not being able to break. This is TSLA. I better head over to the actual underlying itself. But Tesla, there we go, unable to break that 442 marker. All right, so we've knocked on that door for the past 20 minutes, and now we're starting to head in a little bit. It's probably going to be one of those sessions where it's choppy and we can't break. If you do, it's some form of a liquidity grab. But as you can see, buyers are not stepping in, and nor is there any form of aggressive price action. So some form of an accumulation potentially going on here, and we're at the highs. So if you take somewhat of a breath, that's not the end of the world. You have to take into consideration the fact that we're not down whatsoever on the grand scheme of things. We head over to the daily. We've looked at this. Like, I mean, we're all complaining. This is what happens, right? Like when we all get a little bit greedy, you have consecutive sessions, and it's almost just buy the dip in every scenario, and then now you're consolidating at these highs. What are the odds of us having a 7% pullback? Because that's what we experienced over here, and I did the exact same comparison on the NASDAQ. Right? Like 12%, now a little bit more, probably 13 or 14% from this peak to this base was exactly this. But then you just go on an absolute insane run to the tune where you climb 31%. Right? Like I get it. We all missed this. I shouldn't say we all. I'm going to speak for myself. We missed that train and the MU train. But I believe that at some point you're going to have an aggressive pullback. I understand that the space is in vogue, but at some point you will pull back into some levels that you want to, that look attractive, and you want to actually grab this name. Same thing with SanDisk. Price target, they were on the upgrade side of things. Price target of $2,300. But hey, when you literally go parabolic like this, think about how many millionaires this has made. At 3,820% where we're currently trading at. Like if you somehow were, Nancy Pelosi definitely has some of these shares here, but this is a substantial run, right? Like 2,800% in SanDisk in the span of about 7 months. That's an absolute thing of beauty. And shout out to my boy Lieben. I don't know if you're still looking or still watching here today, but there we go. We'll take a look at, man, Cote. There it is to the downside, 22%, just like that. I mean, it doesn't even matter who you are. You can be the best in class. NVDA, at some point, people are going to start taking some profit, as Sharif was mentioning not too long ago, and that's why you're 11% off the highs here in NVDA. But I think at some point it will get bought right back up.
Okay, so here's what happened. This is the car. This is a Ferrari. Here's what the former chairman of the board of Montezemolo, what is that, Sia? What is that? Tears new electric Ferrari Luce apart. Here's what he wrote. I cannot say what I really think. Or this is not even what he wrote. He said this in Italian on video. I cannot say what I really think. I would harm Ferrari. We risk the destruction of a legend. So sorry. Take the prancing horse off. At least the Chinese won't copy this car. I think that's hilarious. That's just as bad as it gets. An indictment on this car. I think that this car is hideous. And I don't think that the Chinese would even want to copy this car. In what universe did they think that this looks like a Ferrari? Or that any, self-respecting Ferrari owner would want to own this? I mean, if I was just me, I'd just buy a Xiaomi SU7, right? It's a lot better than this car, quite frankly. Huh? Sia says she'd walk. It's 100% junk, says Ichiro. Oh, they will copy it, says I Grow Fighting. I just love the look of that car. Really, Jason Hill? That ain't no Nissan. That's a new Apple Moose. It's designed by a former Apple designer who apparently works for OpenAI now. Shout out to Johnny Ive, who apparently was trying to go for a retro feel. What is retro about this, Johnny Ive? Man, this is hideous. Go ahead, Adara.
Well, I was going to say, I was thinking about this yesterday. The color really reminded me of, because when I was doing research with his OpenAI collab, I looked at some of his old Apple designs, and he did this weird little domed laptop, or MacBook rather, for Apple, and the color was almost the exact same. So I think he really likes this one color, and I think the reliance on that color could maybe be a detriment here, because it kind of makes everything look the same. But that blue from that MacBook from like 20 years ago looks almost identical to that blue in the
Interesting. I don't mind the color all that much. I have an affinity for all the different blue colors, but it's just, what is this design? Ram, I thought you were working from home. I left you all these hate notes on your computer. My bad. Just ignore those. Nothing personal there, Ram. We love you anyway, girl. All right, sure, she says. But anyway, yeah, I love... okay, only 300 Ferraris in existence since Mike AD80. I don't know. I don't think they're going to make 300 of these things, guy. I don't even know if they're going to have... You like it, eh?
Yeah, I don't mind.
That's cool. Yeah, well, that says some stuff, but...
What does it say?
Whatever, you're
Did you like
how
that,
growing
Jay?
up, right? If you don't have anything nice to say,
You don't say it all? You don't say it at all? What happened to that Jaguar that was supposed to come out?
I don't mind the 00, bro.
You like that?
I think it looks cool. I don't like the pink.
Pull that bad boy.
I don't understand why they had to show it in pink. I get why they had to show it in pink. Obviously, you got to cater to both sexes now. But quite frankly, I like it in the blue. Jaguar. Yeah. I think it's his 001, 00 type. Look, are you telling me you don't like this?
I do like that thing.
This is way nicer than that hot garbage that they were showing. Now, to be fair, this is a prototype, so I don't think the production version is going to look quite like this. Like, it's going to have door handles, right? It's got to have all the required lights and everything like that. There's a lot of regulatory stuff, but, I mean, compare this to the hot garbage Ferrari. I mean, I like this a lot better.
Yeah,
so
Katina Man, losing to the boy once again here with Night Sports Bay. Yeah, well, I mean, just doing what I do, man. Just beat Katina Man.
What did you beat him on? He's on the phone, man.
Oh, he's on the phone.
He's talking to Marissa. I figured. I know.
Yeah.
Katina Man, he said he beat you again at something. I don't know what he's talking about. 4-0.
Sweet, man.
That's crazy.
Walk in the park, man. Katina Man is
all right. Vegas was the underdog? Vegas was the underdog, says Katina Man. All right, we have a very special interview here with Adara. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So we're going to send it up to the big desk, and let's hear what they have to say.
Okay.
If you trade small caps, and specifically if you traded them this morning, you may have noticed this move here in AMSS on the NASDAQ. We're here to talk to the CEO, Mark Thomas Lin, CEO of Amass Brands Group. Great timing here for you being here today. How are you doing this morning?
Doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So let's get right into it. Can you provide us with an overview of Amass Brands and its portfolio? How does your company stand out from others within the sector?
Yeah, absolutely. So Amass Brands is really a beverage platform focused on kind of premium, better for you categories within the beverage world. And so you're kind of seeing that the market is shifting, young people's behavior is changing. A lot more adults, 1 in 8 Americans are on GLP-1s, and that's really changing kind of the consumption habits around beverage and celebratory occasions. And so what we're building across Amass is a portfolio of non-alcoholic, functional, wellness, and premium lifestyle beverages that kind of consumers really resonate with today.
And as mentioned, your guys' stock did really well this morning. There was a headline here about GoodTwin. So let's talk about the massive growth of GoodTwin because it's become the top organic non-alcoholic line in the US.
Yeah, and so just, leading into my prior statement, a lot of people are starting to really think about their consumption and cutting down a lot on what they're drinking. And so GoodTwin is a great example of that product. It's the #1 organic non-alcoholic wine brand in the US. We currently have about 35.4% dollar share in this particular segment. And what's particularly encouraging is it's not just share, it's also growth, right? So we've seen about 120% dollar sales growth and over 115% growth in volume, thanks to partners like Whole Foods Market, where it's sold nationally, and it just really kind of proves out our thesis. This is made by third-generation Prosecco makers in Treviso, Italy. It's a superlative product. It's a great way to have a celebratory occasion with your friends, but without alcohol. And so when you combine kind of the fast-growing category with premium positioning and real product quality, you can start taking market share very, very quickly.
Makes a lot of sense. I want to congratulate you guys. I understand you recently debuted here on the public market. So what can you tell us about your long-term growth strategy from here, and how does your listing play a role in those goals?
Yeah, so I think, going public is an important step for us because it really gives us a platform to grow with more visibility, more flexibility, and potentially better access to capital over time. So, our long-term strategy is to build Amass into kind of a public beverage platform, and not just a single brand story. There's many emerging beverage brands with strong consumer traction, but they kind of have limited infrastructure, and they may need support, public market access, distribution relationships, operational help, and capital. And all of those things can be really broadly aligned with being a public company.
So you kind of touched on it here, but let's get a little bit more into it. Your portfolio strategy when it comes to acquiring and incubating brands. Can you provide a couple examples here? I mean, obviously, GoodTwin, but any other examples you want to share with people?
Yeah, so we recently acquired a Cali Rosa tequila, which is a red wine barrel-aged tequila brand. We still do play somewhat in the adult beverage segment, or the bev out segment, but we really look for brands that stand out, have very modern positioning, and a very unique thesis within that subsegment, and that have some elements of kind of better for you areas. And so that's a really interesting one. The brand was co-founded by Adam Levine and Bahati Prinsloo from Maroon 5 fame. And it's made by the Real family, who've been making tequila for 3 generations and actually invented the Rosa tequila category. So when you think about tequila this summer, drink pink, as we like to say.
I like that. Easy to remember, too. So your company does have exposure, obviously, to lots of beverage categories, as you mentioned. With that in mind, how is Amass positioned to capitalize on these opportunities, and what's next for you guys?
Well, as I kind of touched on at the beginning, we think the beverage industry is really going through this major reset. And so consumers still want social experiences. They want ritual, they want taste, and they want premium products. But they're increasingly looking for options that align with health, moderation, and lifestyle. And so that's really where we're positioned. So, being exposed to the non-alcoholic brands like GoodTwin, We're looking at functional and wellness. And these things might seem disparate, but ultimately they sit in, they sit very similar aisles in the grocery store. They sit on the same lists at bars, restaurants, and nightclubs. And so from a sales infrastructure perspective, from amortizing, SG&A across an entire portfolio, these things all actually really make a lot of sense. And having a portfolio really allows the customer to have multiple occasions that feel elevated, that feel kind of intentional and feel authentic.
Where can people go if they want to learn more about Amass Brands and your various brands?
Absolutely. AmassBrandsGroup.com is the website that shows our whole portfolio, and from there you can link into any of our brands and see the consumer-facing elements. AmassBrandsGroups.com.
There you go. Thank you so much here to Mark Thomas Lynn, CEO of Amass Brands Group, which you can find also as AMSS on the NASDAQ. Thanks for being here with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Of course.
Thanks, Mark Lynn, for that. And if he wants to send any samples over, we can do them on the show over here. Absolutely, Mark.
Feel free to send some of those non-alcoholic. I like the diversification, though, because we know amongst the youth, they're really dropping alcohol consumption.
That's a fact.
Right?
That is a fact. Gen Z is drinking less. We know that for a fact, right? They're being much more selective. Millennials, too, you're saying, Assassino? Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, personally, I'm drinking a lot less. I know for a fact he is as well.
Yeah.
So you're just seeing that sort of cultural shift, and I think a lot of it really is driven by the health craze. And I don't even think it's a craze anymore in the sense that it's a fad. I think this is here to stay, quite frankly. Just people are just becoming so much more informed. There's really
we also have to take into consideration the wave that we've seen during COVID, right? When people had really nothing to do, just sit at home and consume some of these substances, like obviously alcohol being one of them. And then sure enough, when you actually have the ability, I know we're talking 6 years later, but to go out and be amongst the world is like, hey, do we really need to do this? And here in Canada, you have other alternatives now that you can use, which don't have such long and lasting effects.
No, and I agree. But why don't even we be a bit even more aggressive in the position that you're taking?
Yeah.
Let's roll back here for a second. It's April 2020. It's May 2020. What happened then? Just remind everybody.
COVID.
Yes, and what happened as a result of COVID? Everything shut down. You couldn't go to the malls. You couldn't go into the stores. You had to pick up stuff on the sidewalk. Pause for a second. What stores did they insist remain open?
Obviously the LCBO.
And why? And the medical officer of health came out and flat out said it. We have a dependency issue on alcohol.
Yeah.
If we shut these bad boys, we're going to have chaos in the streets.
Okay.
You didn't say that so much like that, but that's kind of the gist of the mess. Marijuana stores were not open.
No.
In fact, in the beginning, they got opened later.
Absolutely.
Right? So it shows you, it could be a cultural thing as well, but I think the dependency issues was really, they were alive to that.
Happened was when there was really that push of putting everything into grocery stores, right?
Good point.
It was just before that. So it was like, hey, we need to keep this this money coming, this income coming in, this tax revenue. So we need to put it in more places. But then people just stopped drinking after. So it's like, okay, let's force it down their throat a little bit more.
Yeah.
And put it in convenience stores and gas stations, which is a convenience. I'm not going to, right? Like, have the ability to grab it other places.
I don't need the government telling me where I can buy my alcohol.
Now my question to you is, how long until you see like pre-rolls and all of these things in gas stations? Like, if you're going to serve alcohol...
That's a great question. That's actually a sound...
You know what I mean?
That's a sound assumption right there. I mean, at what point? Well, we'll have to wait and see, Joey.
You're buying cigarettes at the gas station. So at what point are you going to be able to pick up your pre-roll here in the gas station?
I see exactly where you're going with this, and you're not wrong. But I don't know. All right, let's just pause for 1 second here with the weed and the alcohol talk. But RCT is ripping. Okay, it's above $1. It's at 108. I think that is the high of the day. RCT up 78% thereabouts. Shout out to TT Mass. Shout out to Stuart D. All you guys called this one out, and it's ripping up again into 110 now. 82%. This one's on its horse, and I don't even see the last red candle on this one. I think the last red candle was when it was doing like a no volume, I think. That was 12:05. It's 12:45. That's the 5-minute chart here. How do you punch in? You got to punch in at the highs. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit at the highs. We're going to defend into the dollar. This one's stair-stepping up. So we'll see what this one has to offer. RCT is ripping, but I also want to point out that IREN, remember we were talking about that double top? Shout out, who mentioned that to me? Texas Jet fan, thank you as well, brother. 65.83 now, the high of the day on the REN, and this is really going here. So be on the lookout. IREN making moves, and there's RCT into 114. We're going to wet the beak there. Let's wait at 16s as well. There it is through 17. That's the high of the day now on RCT, dipping back down into 13s, popping back off into 14. Let's see where this one forms a base. So what I want to do is I want to drop this RCT into the 5-second chart so I can take a quick gander of where support and resistance is. It's failing now. Let's see if it finds support at the 50. I'm thinking 106, 107 could be an interesting ad spot. If it loses that, I'm out. Simple as that. Back into 111 it goes. It's a bit of a thicker trade, quite frankly, but what I do like about RCT is it's a trade de novo. It only really started breaking out on volume like 12:30. Yeah, that's a 12. Yeah, so about 20 minutes now worth of trading with really a lot of volume on RCT. Before that, it had been doing nothing. It was positive on the day, but it was completely sideways. So this one could be him right now. Continuing to watch this one, Joey.
No way.
What happened?
Healy, he says, man, you can pretty much get anything at a gas station in Texas. All right, guys, which is crazy. I mean, like anything, a wide.
Did you hear about some of the speed limits in Texas?
No, what are they up
Especially
there?
West Texas?
Like miles per hour? What are we
I think it's about $120, $125.
Miles per hour?
No,
kilometers?
Yeah.
We got a
What is it,
$120.
guys? Is it 80?
We have
I have
120,
never seen
yeah.
120. I see 110 on the 404. Where'd you see 120? 400 highway.
Also, what's the west
80
side
to
of the Gardner
85.
called? No, the west side of the Gardner.
Oh, QEW.
QEW.
Yeah, the Queen
QEW,
Elizabeth West.
exactly. No one goes over that way. Anyways, aside
Is it
from
120 over there?
I think some parts of it, some
Cap.
stretches it maybe.
Is it actually?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, bro. I could be totally wrong, but we make the 410
85.
great again. And maybe at some point we
What's
can
85 miles an hour in kilometers?
easily
85 miles per hour
What
is
is it?
136.79.
fire it up.
These guys are doing a $140?
Meanwhile,
That's crazy.
After they just hit the gas station, loaded up on a bunch of things, and then decided to hit the freeway. All right, guys, let's see what we got going on. I mean, we've been talking about this trade all day. At some point, something's going to happen. It's going to break one way or the other. We've been consolidating for quite some time. I do believe, and I'm going to have the utmost faith in Tesla to start to grind higher and higher and break through some of these resistance zones. My chart is kind of looking like a mess right now, so let's remove some things. Not just yet, though. Why? Because what do we have? There's essentially 4 lines that I have on here, right? 2 parallel, and then the rest are just doing whatever they're doing. Lower highs broken, okay? That's going to keep us in the trade. Support level didn't break, holding up, going to keep us in the trade. But also we have this resistance zone at 442.46. But this thing, I like this. If that breaks, then we have to be prepared to get out. There's consistent higher lows within this. So one side is going to give up. Let's see who's going to win this battle between the Bears and the Bulls. Let's send it over to Adara.
A little bit of a spike here on OKLO. Worth noting, I'm seeing some speculation that some PSKY approval could be given to OKLO. Basically sounds like OKLO applied for this preliminary documented safety analysis approval for reactors a while ago. They have yet to hear back. An individual from the Department of Energy said that this approval has been granted, so some speculation online suggests OKLO could be getting both approvals here. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but keep an eye here. OKLO, some speculation, positively speaking. I also want to mention here, Scott Bessent talking, he said the market's at all-time highs. It's been said many times throughout this cabinet meeting, but he also said, highlighting that real GDP has risen by 2.7% over the past 4 quarters, and said that prices are transitory and that oil will be lower once the conflict ends. Back to you.
God, I hope so. I was up at the parents on Monday doing the birthday thing up there.
Yeah.
My old man's like, yeah, go fill up the car with gas.
Okay.
All right. So
No problem.
it's a V8, so you can imagine, right?
Holy.
Yep. 80 liters or something like that. I think 80 liter tank.
And what do you
put
put in
91
that?
in that?
91 in that?
91. It's a V8, right? What are you gonna do?
90.
Right? So put in, I don't know what the 91 price was. I always look at the headline number.
Yeah.
I actually caught it at a good price.
Okay.
Because it was, they dropped the price at night, like
Yeah,
7, 8 o'clock. They drop it like 10 cents, sometimes lower.
Pennies, yeah.
So put in for like 1 low 70s. Didn't even make a difference. Doesn't even make a dent when you're filling from scratch. It's
oh no, we're not.
it's next level stuff here, guys.
What was that, like $200?
A little bit less. A little bit
pretty
less.
close,
yeah,
though.
Pretty close. Guys, RCT halted down. Fails the dollar. 117 high. We caught the top into that. I entered in, scalped up a little bit, but we ended up getting stopped out because it lost the volume weighted average price. So RCT, Johnny says, I didn't fall for it. Good on you, Johnny. We scalped a little bit here, but we gave back some. So RCT, certainly not him at the moment, below the volume weighted average price, but there's a good amount of volume. So I want to see what this one actually does when it resumes the open. It's showing an 89.25 tap with the halt price at 92. Halt time 12:52.37. Current 53 or thereabouts. Ozan, old man's driving 458 Italia. I saw. Yeah, that'd be nice. Yo, dude, if my dad could save every penny he ever made, he would have done it and done it with a smile on his face. It's the other half that forces the spending, okay? That's the way it works in my family anyway. And I feel like that's the way it works in Katina Man's family as well, a little bit there.
How many Amazon orders today, Katina Man?
Ooh.
There was one when I woke up.
All right.
There was one when he woke up. He woke up and there was an Amazon order already.
Dang, all right.
The guy was there at 4:30.
He looked at his, and the guy was there at 4:30. So there you go. So a lot of yeah.
Bright and early. All right,
pressure.
so,
Go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, man, let's talk about 4 a.m. Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to, I mean, you know what they say, right? Like, if you're not going to order stuff, you haven't been ordering stuff off Amazon all day if you don't start bright and early. But the saying goes another way, right, Sharif? Like, you can't drink all day unless you start in the morning. So there it is. 3. We're still waiting for this level to break. I mean, I seen someone mention a W pattern here on Tesla. Let's actually, someone said, bro, make it bigger for me. Yeah, no problem. I mean, it doesn't look that neat, Sharif. But no, but hey, listen, Sharif, let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Who are you, Obi?
No, but
What is
listen,
all this,
breathe for a second here. All right? Just let me explain myself, all right? Look at this, higher lows, am I not right?
Absolutely right.
Support level right here through the pre-market.
Very clearly,
right, didn't
yes.
break, and then a resistance zone up here.
Why
So
there? Oh, because of the previous spike.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, and then look at that, heading
yeah.
into the pre-market a little bit there. So, I mean, over here too. So I don't know why I'm pointing. So there is levels that are coming into play, but I get it. We can probably remove 1 or 2 of them, but there is some specific things that are working out for us. Now we need this to break as we start to climb and head towards that
Feels
pivot.
choppy, Joey.
It's
Like,
so
it's
choppy.
not trending.
It's mad choppy.
Yeah.
It's Chop Fest 101 over here, and the volume isn't supporting a breakout right now, and that's why we need some form of a tweet from our guy Donald.
Well, he's still on. I think he's still live. If this is live, I don't know. I can't tell. Yeah, he's still live. There he is. You got Heggie on one side, you got Rubio on the other. The amount of videos of Marco Rubio like taking over this, taking over that, that's become like the running gag online. He has to take over so many of the administration's issues. So there was, I remember when Spirit went out of business, it was like a video of Marco Rubio. He was like the check-in counter. He was the pilot. He was the flight attendant. He's beating people up at the Spirit counter like we see a lot online, right?
Times at the
So there's a whole like running gag that Rubio, you know, he takes care of it all. And when you look at the prediction markets, he's ahead of Kamala Harris. He's ahead of J.D. Vance as the possible candidate for 2028. We'll have to obviously see we're an eternity away from there.
I feel like people don't like JD that much.
I think, you know, that test with the negotiations in Pakistan that he was supposed to lead were exactly that, a bit of a test. I don't think he did that well. He didn't go the second time. He went the first time. They stopped sending him because nothing was getting done. We'll see, man. We'll see. SMCI says Grim Reaper, he dropped €2 in the chat. We're going to thank him for that. Absolutely, thank you very much. Just give me 1 sec here, and we're going to look at that. Just want to put IREN on my top screen there to find out what the REN is up to. But let's see what
Katina Man said he was
about.
in the
SMCI. Let's look at Katina Man's in SMCI? No.
In IREN. He said he was in IREN.
Katina Man had the $61 mark on IREN. I want to say RCT's gapping down, so watch out there. SMCI, what are they doing? They're up 2.7% on the day. Good support here at around 36 and change. You're still below the pre-market high, which is around 37.80, give or take. That's the implied balance open. So the official high of the day is 38 4/5. We're showing some resistance here at 38 1/4, 38 1/3. I mean, it's a nice uptrend. There's no doubt about that intraday, but you know, I'm looking more swing analysis here for SMCI, because when you look at this on the wider time frame, you've got a lot of higher lows, especially from that double bottom back at 29.50 on the 18th and 19th of May. And since that time into the highs today, you're up 31%, quick as you like on this name. So SMCI, look, if you're going to hold SMCI as a swing or an investment, you just have to be ready for the headline. They have some interesting business practices, whether you believe the reports or not, but you can wake up to this thing down 25% on the day because their leaders are smuggling in Blackwells and, you know, restricted servers to China and into Inner Mongolia. So you got to be ready for that kind of thing. Anyway, we're gonna talk a little Middle East here. President Trump is making comments.
He is, and he just said, and I quote, in the same breath, and again, Oman will behave, quote. So yeah, no one will control it, but the U.S. will watch over the strait. Lots of comments of varying degrees happening here from U.S. President Trump.
All right, man. I mean, at least he's honest.
Man, what's the strait?
I
think he's exaggerating in service of a larger point, where the strait is international waters. You got to open it up for everybody.
I think you're muted, my boy.
No, I'm not. I'm not muted. Yeah, that's a statement right there. Yeah. What's that other strait in Asia where a lot of the trade goes through? Strait of Malaga or something, Malacca or something like that. That they were saying that more trade goes through there, and that like at its widest point, it's like, narrowest point, it's like 1 kilometer or 2 long, whereas the Strait of Hormuz at its narrowest point, it's like 21 kilometers.
Yeah, I mean,
so much bigger bottleneck there. What, chat, fact check me, man. What is that one called in Asia? Like Malacca or something like that? Adara was muted, apparently, everybody's saying. It was not. It was not. You guys have to refresh. Adara wasn't actually muted. So just refresh. And the beautiful thing about YouTube is you can rewind, right? Just go back and listen to what she had to say.
To bring up what you were talking about not too long ago,
Malacca,
the fact that it's like, okay, once one conflict is over, these guys are already you already see headlines about Cuba. Because they we'll work on Cuba.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, so you're just going to go from one conflict to the other and just bounce around.
I kept telling you, I think what he's doing is he's cleaning house, right? Yeah. The Monroe Doctrine, now kind of the 21st century of that Trump doctrine. Hey, what is what it is, Joey. I mean, it's not up for us to think. Here is what I'm talking about. This is what it is, Joey. Look at this. So a lot of trade goes through this strait right here. They're saying a lot of the goods that come from Asia. I'm just trying to load this up so we can... yeah, there we go. Yeah. So here it is, guys. At its narrowest point, Assassino, it's 1 kilometer wide. So a lot of people worried about this, but I think you definitely have some more, let's just say, cooperative partners in Malaysia and Indonesia than you do in Iran. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. We're going to go back to Adara. She's going to repeat what she said.
I guess some people missed that, so my apologies there. I will let you guys know what President Trump said is that the Strait of Hormuz will be open to everyone. No one will control it, but also that the U.S. will watch over it. Also saying, quote, Oman will behave or will blow them up. So lots being said here by President Trump. Again, just to recap, this has already been said. More recently, he's speaking here about gas, saying that gasoline prices will come down like before, and at the right time, they'll release boats from the Strait of Hormuz.
We're going to blow them up. Yeah. Like, hold on. I don't even understand. What did Oman do here?
I don't know, man.
I mean, Oman was getting clipped by Iran. Wasn't Oman on the receiving end of some drone attacks? And, you know, a lot of people were actually driving from the UAE to Oman to take off from there because the UAE's airport, at least in the, you know, the early stages of the war, was basically shut. So I don't understand. What did Oman do there? Like, we'll have to find out there. But interesting comments from President Trump. He's still active there and looks like he's still taking questions from the media. But you know what? I don't like anything in small cap gapper world right now. Just to be honest with you, nothing's really running. But IREN continues to go. It is ripping into the high day, 66.36. It's done 46 million shares. It's up 10.5%. Let's see if this one continues the uptrend. It's been on a rampage since touching that $60 area. Basically at 10.25, and we haven't really had a trend break since that area low. So IREN absolutely going here. Ivan, Malacca is not related to world economy. It's more about China and Asia. It can hurt supply chain, but not energy itself. Hormuz and Bab el-Mandeb is about energy and world economy. I think a lot of products that come from China, Ivan, probably are really relied upon by a lot of countries, especially for supply chain. And we saw that during COVID. Just remember that. Remember the semiconductor shortage because nobody could build. So
remember there was
I see your point.
Remember that
with respect to energy.
Remember that shipping boat also upset in I believe it was that Egyptian. What was the strait over there?
It's called Suez Canal.
Yeah, the Suez Canal. Remember what that did to
the
supply chain?
It got stuck or something.
Yeah, it got stuck.
Or it was like
took them forever. And that was a supply chain disruption as well too.
Yeah, but the Suez Canal's got two ways because the Egyptians expanded it, so there's two paths now. So it's not just one that you got to go through there. Okay. All right. So we'll continue to President Trump, man. All right, guys. So he's still making comments. Good look. What do you got over there, Joey? You looking at anything? Because I'm not liking anything.
I just got all out of this Tesla trade here. I mean, it was working for us earlier. Now it's just a chop fest. And we're sitting in it. I mean, it started to break down pretty aggressively. This engulfing print right here on low volume. We couldn't punch through this resistance zone. Should we have taken some off the top right there? Probably. Is this a liquidity grab again? Once again, probably. So you just have to be patient to see if it's going to head in towards that next level, which could be around 1625. Am I going to re-engage in this thing today? I don't know. I probably doubt it. We had a couple of good opportunities on it there, and I just believe the market is in chop phase here today, and you can see it from a daily perspective. There's not much going on right now. It's just a steady downtrend. 2:30, I think, is going to be a completely different time. And see what we can do from that standpoint. Some of these tech names that might be a little bit overbeaten. I don't know if it's even worth. We haven't talked about this name too much here today, but you have NVDA right back up to 211, which isn't bad. So could this be the end of this pullback here where you reach almost 13% down? And then you also have this pivot level from previous November of 2025 to hold the best potential support. But there goes Tesla right back to the top side. I was just done with it. We got out of it. We locked in whatever it was there. And if it decides that it wants to recover, then so be it. It can do it without us. Peter Hopfee, happy Wednesday. Think ONDS breaks 1060 resistance. Let's see. Ondas Holdings. And so you're at 1050. It is in the chop range right now. What does the daily look like? Potentially, yeah. I mean, anything can happen, right? This is a strong bull flag, consistent higher lows. At some point, it may get breached, but what you want to see is the volume really start to uptick as you're punching through some of those resistance zones. But in the daily, right, like from a daily perspective, you could just see that 1052 isn't doing too much right now. It's just in the middle of this chop zone. So, I mean, if it just chops around, then I wouldn't be surprised. All right.
I think this one's yours, probably. I know you just took the other one. I do apologize, but it's an options question. So I'll read it out. Here's what it says. Shout out to Trader Griff 27. Thank you very much, Trader Griff. Dropping 10 in the chat. We thank you for that, brother. Gent have 70 $59 call options for IONQ expiring, Joey, Friday, up 95% and have scaled some out, Katina, man. Now testing, I should say, yesterday's pre-market high. Thoughts? Let's have a look at IONQ. What's the options chain?
I mean, you just look at the underlying asset. 70 calls, you've scaled some out. I mean, what else are you asking for? I mean, 95% return, so you almost double your money in the span of a couple of days. I don't know when you bought them. I'm assuming shortly after you heard the investment. I don't remember if anything was flowing into IonQ. IBM gets $1 billion, Rigetti gets $100 million, QUBT gets $200 million, and another name gets $300 million. So what's left of the pie after that. I'm not too sure, but it doesn't matter because the whole space is continuing to move. And this was supposed to be the later of the quantum names. Ooh. So if we're talking about recovery, you're down 66%. You cut that more in half, right? So 23%, and then you grab almost 150% from that bottom after that news. So it's not bad. There's nothing wrong with locking in some more profit. And if they expire relatively soon, why hope for that much more? I mean, we talked about it. I talked about it earlier this morning. It's just taking the money and running. Obviously, there's going to be that opportunity. You could have made more. There's always that case, and there's always that scenario. But sometimes you just have to accept the fact that, hey, we locked this in, you're happy, and you move on to that next potential position.
All right, man. I don't think Luis is coming on. Maybe. He wasn't here this morning either. Yeah, typically in the summer, Katina, man.
And I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him in the chat here today either.
Those Europeans, Katina. Said. All right, see ya. I don't think Luis is gonna mosey on over today. So why don't we start the news segment if you're ready?
Can you give me one more moment to set up, if that's okay? Perfect.
Give you many moments here. All right, guys, let's look at what is happening. Let me just bring in the side charts over here, and we can talk about this. So ASTC, the best trade on the day, I think, for the majority of the small cap gapper traders in the chat. But you know, ever since that $20 touch, 1975, it has been basically a slow downturn here, barely holding on to 15. Now, I'm not even looking at VWAP. I mean, VWAP's at 10 bucks, is trading at 15, so nothing to look at there. But what you are seeing is a bit of a compression pattern, if I could say so here, with some higher lows but lower highs. I personally think the lower highs are more operative than the higher lows. I'd be specifically looking for a loss of 14, given that we double bottom there at 12.20 and 12.25. So ASTC feels like the best trade is behind it, but we're going to see here. I want to mention QTTB. I did talk about this one right at the beginning, but it really hasn't given us much to talk about. The moves up happen in very short order, and then they do nothing subsequent. Case in point, the 8 a.m. breakout on the news, pop, bull flag. And then you got 9:30, 9:35, pop, bull flag. And unless you're trading this as a range off 11 1/4, it really hasn't given you anything to do. It's up a very respectable 70 1/3%. But, you know, I've been looking for a trade, and I quite frankly can't find one. Bless you, Joseph. All right, so with that in mind, I am now told by Assassino that Sia is ready for the news segment. So let's send it up to her.
Let's talk about our first of the day, Tesla. So speculation around a potential SpaceX and Tesla combination. As SpaceX, as we all do know it, is heading towards its much awaited IPO. The overlap we are seeing is real. Tesla already owns XAI exposure, and SpaceX buys Tesla energy products. And now suppliers are increasingly treating Elon Musk's system as one customer. But there is some chatter that an actual merger would be massively complex from governance, valuation, and certain shareholder fairness perspectives, as we've been bringing up on the show multiple times and speaking, that this thing that we're witnessing will reinforce Tesla not just as an EV maker, but also as an AI platform. Well, lots to say about that, Sharif. I'll just send it over to you. But Tesla currently up just over a little of %.
Yeah, here it is. So this is what I want to talk about. Right away, Tesla already has a $2 billion investment into essentially XAI. And the way that happened was Tesla previously made, I should say, a $2 billion investment into XAI, which obviously merged with SpaceX in the private market, obviously with a view to taking them both public. But following the internal merger between SpaceX and XAI, essentially all that $2 billion that Tesla had invested, it was automatically converted into direct SpaceX shares on Tesla's corporate balance sheet. So there's already a financial kind of tie-up between the two companies. It doesn't mean automatically, of course, that they merge, but the primary driver of the merger, at least the way that I understand it, is Terafab. Now, this is Elon Musk's obsession. I think it's going to be his obsession for the next couple of years as this thing builds out. But I think what Elon is saying is we're going to require so many chips and at such high quantities and in such, not the word, advanced nodes that paying the Nvidias, the Intels, the AMDs, paying those prices and, you know, basically paying into their margins is going to hurt ours. So why don't we just go about this on our own? We'll fabricate them. We won't have to be subject to anybody's whim in terms of supply or cost. And that's my understanding, is that you're going to need chips, obviously, for autonomous driving. You're going to need chips for XAI and SpaceX. And it makes sense to combine their powers so that you can produce at scale. Whether or not that happens, whether or not we see data centers in space, whether or not we see advanced chips in your Tesla, and possibly even use mobile Tesla as data centers. That's what he was floating at one time or another.
Mobile Teslas
as
data centers.
He's like, you know, you can have Teslas on the network, I guess, in Starlink, and then use the compute on the Tesla itself as a mobile data center. Yeah, he's great.
He's a true visionary, man.
Well, it's what he says, right?
Yeah.
So typically, you know, we see some things that he does, but not everything comes.
Let's send it over to Adara. We'll talk a little bit more about this.
More back and forth here from President Trump on Iran and the state of a potential deal here with Iran, saying, quote, I didn't do this to get a bad agreement. This deal has got to be perfect. He also said in the framework deal with Iran, I guess in his perfect scenario, the Strait of Hormuz would open immediately. He thinks they're doing well in terms of talks, but here's the big thing. He said that if enough countries don't join the Abraham Accords, he's not sure if it's even worth making a deal with Iran. Back to you.
Yeah, and let's be more honest about it. There's a lot of integration with these companies. Remember the excess of the Cybertrucks that they couldn't sell?
Yeah.
Where are they?
What are they doing?
At Starbase. They're
there.
driving around all over because he just got SpaceX cleaned house, and then they're using them as utility vehicles.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
So people just drive around. And I honestly, so Adair and I heard the boys to our right of us talking about it this morning. To be honest with you, I don't think it's that big of an issue, because if you think about the competition, you do have Blue Origin, you have Firefly, and then as you get into the domestic EV space, it's not performing that well. So, I mean, if you're going to combine the two companies, you're sitting at SpaceX almost a true $1 trillion market cap. What does that mean for Elon Musk and his pay package? I think it makes it that much easier. Not like people care about it, but I'm saying what I'm getting at here now is the competition is there if you want to get into the AV space. Waymo, you have the competition within Waymo, and then you also have other names, Zoox starting to come up as well too. So competition is there. You have Blue Origin, so I don't see any issue with combining these two companies from a regulatory standpoint.
Well, I want to bring one up.
For sure.
So Musk's ownership concentration is markedly different in SpaceX than it is in Tesla. So he owns about 20% of Tesla's equity. For SpaceX, he doesn't own 85. He has 85.1% of the voting power. So think about a conglomerate where Tesla and SpaceX tie up. How do you mix in that? Exactly, but right? He doesn't have the voting control in Tesla, even though he has a big chunk.
But that's his objective too, so I can see why he would want to do this, because he wants to have the final say in Tesla.
I'm not saying you're wrong, brother. What I'm saying is, from a corporate governance perspective, like with the tie-up, how do Tesla shareholders feel about Musk having an oversized voting influence on the combined company?
Absolutely.
Right, because
but as a shareholder, and if you like your one buddy, if you've been a long-time shareholder, you want to give this guy full control of the wheel, because look what he's done.
I do. Not everybody does.
Not
though.
everybody.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, then what are you doing owning the stock? Because if he's got it to where it's currently at right now, the chances are you may be waving in his favor. Like I'm sure your one buddy that you talk about who's owned shares for a long time. He's like, give this guy full control of this wheel, because I want to see what he has the ability to do. And I bet you there's a lot of individuals like Ron Barron. We were talking about him the other day and how his investment in Tesla and SpaceX, I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, hey, give this guy full control as well too, because what he's done, is he going to be right all the time? No. Absolutely not. But when he's right, he's hella right, and he's a game changer. Right, and we still have to take into consideration that, like, he's obsessed with this Terrafab thing now. He's not as obsessed with the Cybercab and autonomy as he was before, I feel like.
But can I say one thing? You brought up the Cybercab. So you know how this whole thing with Tesla works out? You typically start seeing the cars on the road more and more and more. Then all of a sudden we get the announcement. We saw that with the Model Y refresh, right?
Yep.
Dude, The cyber cabs are all over Austin.
Yeah.
It's all over.
They've expanded more.
Yeah, they're coming.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time until we start getting those
The
produced.
rollout was a little bit slower, but yeah, they are starting, and they're not. And a lot of them are unmanned. They don't have that assisted driver now, too, which we do want to see. But we have to also take in the fact that how much longer Waymo has been doing this now. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much, like a year or so head start. But then we also take into consideration cost factor and what Tesla has from a production.
You know, Waymo's not making any money off their.
How do you when it's $250,000 a vehicle?
Exactly, right. I think we beat up Tesla to death. It's up 1 2/3, 440. I think $500-ish is all-time high, so not too far away from that. Tesla's still down 2% on the year, though, Sia.
Let's move on. Amazon is selling its now AI shopping technology to other retailers. Amazon has been using homegrown AI technology to help users compare products and place or even buy orders on their behalf. We're seeing a lot of these AI agents that are buying and that are, we also saw that story about Robinhood today, which we will discuss later. So today, Amazon said in a blog post that it is taking the architecture starter code and learnings from Alexa and making them available for the rest of the industry. So what does this mean? Basically, retailers will be able to launch their own AI shopping tools that are tailored to their own storefront. And looking at this, a little bit of a history on this, Amazon has launched this internally before almost 2 decades ago when it did have that cloud computing unit thing with AWS and later the cashierless checkouts with warehousing and supply chain services. So Amazon has already signed up Tapestry, which is the leading luxury fashion holding company that owns Coach and Kate Spade. Currently, Amazon up almost 2% on the day.
Coach. I have a lot of Coach shoes. I think that they're pretty good. So I have nothing bad to say about this. I got to tell you, I don't really have too much of an opinion on this AI shopping tool. I think it's cool. I think it certainly definitely helps when you're going through the shopping process, but I don't really feel like it's a needle mover. People who are going to shop on Amazon are going to shop anyway.
Exactly, and if you're going to type it in, it's like, okay, cool, you say something to your AI assistant, it pulls up a list, or you type it in on your keyboard. I don't think there's that much of a difference, to be honest with you.
I don't mind the assist, like especially if it can get creative, like augmented reality stuff. We're seeing a lot more of that. Have you seen some of these apps
where
now?
like it's like you're actually wearing the clothes itself?
That and a different way. So for furniture, for example, so you'll just take a phone and you'll like go like this and it'll show you how the furniture.
That's what they do all on
stuff, right?
on Realtor, on Realtor.ca. That's all that they're doing.
They're
not even
they're not even
actually staging. They're not even actually staging, right? They're just using some of these tools. Yeah, I mean, but hey, listen, Alexa for shopping assistant, $12 billion in incremental sales in 2025. I mean, that's not bad, right? But selling it, why wouldn't you if it's going to turn more of a profit? And that's what the name of this game is right now, especially in this AI boom.
All right, Sia, what do we got next?
Like I mentioned, we're talking about Robinhood next. Similar story. Now, Robinhood has unveiled tools that its AI agents can now trade stocks and also make credit card transactions on a user's behalf. I don't know how I feel about this, but we'll dive into the story. 2 new products, Agentic Trading and Agentic Credit Cards, will now allow customers to connect third-party AI assistants to carry out their investing strategies or spending instructions with minimal human involvement as possible. This is coming from their statement. What users can do, basically, is instruct their AI agents to rebalance their portfolios, monitor themes such as AI stocks, and or execute trading strategies properly. So this move is coming right after hedge funds and exchange-traded fund-related fund providers are now shooting up their AI deployment. But the downside of this story is that it's raising some safety issues, which puts autonomous trading in the hands of a less sophisticated, smaller trader. And this is not coming from me. This is coming from CNBC with the same risk that controls the Wall Street institution. So higher risk, less reward kind of a strategy I'm seeing. But currently, Hood up on the day by almost 2%. Yep.
Bovin, thank you very much. Bovin, thank you, Sia, for that. I'm just going to call this one out super quick. RYOJ, ripping, halted up, $5.10, traded carefully. It's basically done no volume all day. Volume coming in recently here at 115, and not even that much, quite frankly. I think we did 42,000 shares and change. RYOJ, excuse me, not G, RYOJ, halted up $5.10. And Sia, I think you do have cause for concern for AI to execute, decisions on your behalf. And I think that Robinhood was very much alive to that issue as well, because they're basically saying if the AI up, we got zero liability. They're relying on the corporate shield that goes as follows. So Robinhood explicitly warns that the AI agents can, quote, misinterpret instructions, act on stale data, or behave in unexpected ways. And the agreement that you're going to agree to here with Robinhood when you do this is you acknowledge that they assume zero liability for AI-generated financial losses. That places 100% of the financial downside on you, right? So we all know how these AIs hallucinate and how this still is a problem that, 3-4 years later, since ChatGPT went live, November 2022, we haven't even come close to removing that bug. I'm using AI on a daily basis, for everything, personal use, work use. It consistently hallucinates.
Yeah, there is that bug. I mean, just as for transactions, I mean, there's multiple ways that we can look at this. It's almost like algorithmic style trading where you just type in code, you tell it what you want to do. But there are some features about this that I actually really like, right? And what I was reading up on this is that there's a rebalance feature within these agentic tools within that, right?
Okay.
So it's like, hey, which is pretty straightforward. If you're intraday trading, that's when things can get complex. Why can we say that? Because we literally sit here and do this all day. But when it comes to rebalancing of your portfolio, where it's a little bit more straightforward, and I think some of the metrics required in order to tell this agent what you're looking for is like, hey, when this hits a certain percentage of the portfolio, rebalance it, go into cash.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Stocks, right? It's not necessarily doing buying and selling for you from a day trading standpoint, but from a longer duration perspective. If you just have this, hey, rebalance, it's like that method of payment, repeat app for a year or something along those lines. You can have that repeatable to the point where some of your holdings become overweighted. It just does it automatically. So I don't think that's a horrible feature whatsoever. It definitely gets more complex as you head into intraday trading and swing trading things, but long-term portfolio, I don't mind that feature whatsoever.
All right, Sia, what do we got next?
A story that we've beaten to death, but we're also going to take a look at it. Now, Warner Brothers, PSKY, one more time, deal approval chatter, another WBD and PSKY story. A report has suggested that Paramount Skydance has proposed a $110 billion acquisition of Warner Bros. Discovery, which is gaining traction in the United States with the antitrust regulators, which driving the move, which has also followed certain DOJ discussions that have reportedly improved the deal outlook. So this is more like an event-driven pricing. I'm seeing if approval odds do manage to rise meaningfully, WBD will start trading off its deal valuation rather than its usual debt and linear TV concerns. Currently, PSKY up on the day, almost 3%.
I worry about the debt when this comes, if the tie-up goes ahead. So listen to this. Everybody talks about the $110 billion price tag that they paid, this, that, and the other, but institutional bond desks are they're laser focused on the debt load. So listen to it. The all-cash deal, the financing was, I think, about $50 billion was put up, and then the rest was financed by a syndicate of about 18 global banks. So post-merger, if again it does go through, the entire media entity, the combined media entity, can you guess how much debt they're gonna have?
Combined?
Yeah, just throw a number out there.
60 billion.
Pretty close, bro.
Yeah.
$80 billion in net debt, and that's about 7 times EBITDA. That's intense. So I don't like that from the inside, from the financial side of it. But there is also obviously the Hollywood talent agency concession that could help things. What do you think about this?
There's a couple of things that need to be taken into consideration. This is where I stand. Larry Ellison overpaid. Netflix stepped away because they liked it at a certain price. They weren't going to get it. Larry Ellison was obviously adamant the fact that he wanted it. He wanted to add to the Paramount Skydance catalog. So sure enough, what happened at the end of it? He ended up overpaying substantially for Warner Brothers Discovery. Now they want this deal to be done as quick as possible, Sharif, because we talked about that fee. That if the deal isn't finalized by September, they're going to be owing shareholders an X amount of dollars or per share every single day, which I think amounted up to a quarter at the peak of it per share to all the shareholders. So how I feel about this is I think that they might be in a little bit of trouble because where I stand with their ability to take advantage of the catalog and put it to its full potential is limited. And that's my opinion. So that outstanding debt can be really bad. And we know as for some of the linear aspects of this merger aren't going to be performing very well. And you'll be sitting at a net loss within those.
Statement made. See ya. We're talking some.
We're talking some Zscaler. So Zscaler has delivered a fundamentally solid quarter, beating both earnings and revenue with EPS of $1.08 versus $1.01 estimated, and revenue of $585 million versus $580 million that was estimated, while maintaining a healthy 25% year-over-year top-line growth. The problem here was guidance. Fiscal Q4 revenue in the range of between $632 million to $633 million landed essentially in line with expectations, but investors had been speculating a stronger upside. Management also continues leaning into AI security growth through certain acquisitions and platform expansions, reinforcing a long-term strategic story. But near term, this was an expectation reset. The business is healthy, yet stock was priced for acceleration, not a clean beat, but a beat. Currently, ZS down a whopping 31.4% on the day.
Yeah, it's a tough look here. Look, this is a good company, tough look. I have many points I want to make. First and foremost, capital expenditures. Their CapEx is really eating into their free cash flow margins from 18% down to 16%. Why? Because they actually had unbudgeted, so the market didn't know about it, analysts didn't know about it, unbudgeted CapEx, and really to keep up with the demand that they're getting for basically new customers as a result of AI and everything that's coming with that. More on that in a second. But also, they've got some quality, some seasoned salespeople that are leaving the company en masse. That concerned analysts a little bit because a lot of this stuff is B2B, and B2B, a lot of it is relationship driven. So when you leave sales or the salespeople leave, typically they take their book with them, and then whoever, has got to pick up the slack, so to speak. But their RPO, they were quick to tout their $6.5 billion of remaining performance obligations. That's essentially unrealized revenue that they couldn't realize because they didn't have the capacity. But what analysts are noting here is it's very long-dated RPO. It's not like later in 26 or later in 27. A lot of it's towards the end of the decade, according to some of the analysts. So they're less, inclined to want to kind of include that in the earnings. And also, what was going to say here? Yes, this is interesting as well. We've seen a lot of corporate layoffs, especially from the hyperscalers, and the way that Zscaler, and not just Zscaler, but all the other cybersecurity companies work, is they have a per user fee. So we got 50 people that work here. We need 50 different computers and login stations protected. That's 50 licenses. Well, do you really want to go down that avenue, especially when the headcount is dropping? So apparently they're changing how they bill, and they're going to what they're calling a zero trust everywhere non-user module. So it would be billed a little bit differently. So that's a bit of a concern there. And then last but not least, you had a lot of quantitative funds aggressively dumping Zscaler. I made this point in the morning. FMR is basically a quant firm. They slashed 51.6% of their Zscaler holdings. How about Federated Homes, completely gutted, 89.2% of its position. That's $150 million, that outflow just like that. So some quantitative firms looking at this with some speculative eyes. I'm just going to say goodbye for now, guys. I got to weasel out. I got to take the old man up to a medical appointment. So Neil has been very nice enough to agree to cover for me for the rest of the midday show. So I'm going to say goodbye a little bit here and thank Neil for obviously stepping in. I'll see everybody bright and early tomorrow morning at 8:30.
Good luck. Yeah, that's pretty. We'll let Neil mosey on over here, and C and I will talk a little bit. I mean, she's gone over Zscaler, but when you post a $13.9 million net loss compared to 4.1 last year, that's 300%. That's not going to be good, especially with your guidance in line, not coming exactly how they want. CapEx is relatively high. Horrible, horrible stuff. But what I found absolutely interesting is how are we going to, and I'm going through some of the analyst rating, that can be a mixed bag. But what I'm noticing is like a lot of outperformed. There is some price target cuts, but I mean, I think it was BMO or HSBC, something along those lines where like, yeah, outperform. And a couple of other analysts were saying outperform. Who are you outperforming at this point? I get that you can be down substantially, and then that's where you can see that gain. But look what's going on in the rest of the space. Look at the PAN-Ws. Look at the crowd strikes as they continue to climb. So I just think that's wrong. And some people are saying, Dan Wedbush was saying outperform, I believe, as well, too. So I'm not in love with what they have going on here from an analyst perspective because the stock isn't performing. And we heard the exact same thing with Salesforce, which we get the report after the bell. It's just there's a reason why. You're increasing your spending, you're increasing your net loss, and sure enough, there's not that turnaround that you're looking for. Let's send it off to Adara. I
want to mention here, guys, SNAP slightly snapping higher here. Apparently, S&P raised Snap Inc.'s credit rating here to BB minus or double B minus on strengthening operational and fiscal results. They think the outlook for Snapchat is favorable. Is the outlook favorable for trading? I guess that's on you. You have to decide that. But SNAP, interesting look here. Back to you.
Hey, what up? I'm gonna stay on this side so I can have all my stuff here.
Stay over there.
Gonna pop in for Sharif, the dutiful son.
Yeah. We're gonna send it back to Sia here, Neil, as we continue to talk a little news, my guy.
Let's take a look at our next story. We're talking about Boeing. The CEO of the company, Kelly Ortberg, saying that the company requirements will be increasing its production of the 737 to 47 jets per month. Currently, they operate at 42 jets per month. And in a statement today, the CEO has also said that the company is highly confident that it is ready to meet that rate. The history of Boeing is that earlier they did have a 57 aircrafts per month rate before Ortberg has said that it was not sustainable with its safety and quality purposes. And comments also include the CEO saying that they are expecting to someday get to a 63 per month rate, that they are looking forward to that as well. Currently, BA up almost 2% in the market. Before I send it over to the guys, Adara, what do you have to say about Boeing?
Kelly Ortberg. Like, a lot has been made about, my love for Kelly. I honestly think he's done a great job as CEO of Boeing so far. Like, think about it, guys. So far, he is the only CEO of Boeing to either not resign in disgrace, be an interim CEO, or be later called the worst CEO in the history of America. So Kelly, I mean, obviously, these are a pretty low bar, but he's doing a good job. First full year as CEO here, 2025, you see an increase here in profit, or rather an improvement of loss, I guess, and an uptick in revenue. He's done a great job so far here, and so I like what he's saying. Furthermore, I have to give him props because he was speaking at a conference today. I believe it was the Bernstein conference. Now, we know JPMorgan CEO Jamie Dimon also speaking at a conference today, and he gave a lot of hemming and hawing. We might do this. We may do that. We're thinking about succession. Boo Mythos. Maybe we'll do a stable coin. Like, there's a lot of we might do this, we might do that. Kelly Ortberg came in here. He gave us clear ideas of what he wants to see for Boeing. He gave us a clear trajectory. No, I honestly have to give him props. I know this joke about me and Kelly will always continue, but I really love what he's actually done with this company, and I hope he continues so that he does not end up either resigning in disgrace or becoming the worst CEO in America, because I think he's honestly, the path here is strong. I'd like to see us continue as scheduled on that flight without any turbulence.
upway.
A clear runway.
A clear runway to his vision there. No, but Neil, a couple of positive things here, I believe, with Boeing is that they have the ability to increase production, which is huge, but also mending the relationship with the FAA, which we know was absolutely destroyed considering they're using zip ties, washer fluid, our soap, and all of these things. So that needed to be done in order for them to obviously ramp up their production. Now, as for deliveries, we heard that China's looking to buy, I think it was a couple hundred planes. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Adara. But we know you're not going to get 200 planes, exactly, a couple hundred, so 200 planes there. But we know if you're limited in production and what you can deliver, it's going to take multiple years to even get those to you. So, I mean, he definitely needs a ramp up here.
Well, so the good thing for Boeing, when you talk about multiple years to get the ramp up, it's just Boeing and Airbus, okay? So if you want to talk about Boeing's backlog being 10 plus years, well, then you've got to at least acknowledge that Airbus is looking at a decade as well. So it's only slightly worse. And there's generally two types of environments. There's basically two ways that this goes. There's a world in which Airbus is stronger than Boeing, and then there's a world in which Boeing is stronger than Airbus. And that flipped a few months ago. You can complain all you want about Boeing, but Boeing is flipped. It's managed to make the most recent bounce and get a little bit more air underneath it than its only competitor. Only competitor is the key thing. Now, just because you exist in an oligopoly, it doesn't guarantee that things are going to work out for you. But here's the thing that, from the long term, you cannot worry about with Boeing. There's only two, and one thing you can guarantee, regardless of who is in power, is the U.S. government will want them to succeed. So when all of this is done in Iran, there is one of the bargaining chips. There's the chips, and then there's Boeing. You know that some of the bargaining chips with China is about ensuring future sales. Mm-hmm. That's one, and when you have that as one of the negotiating sides, I think it continues to be stronger than Airbus. I don't think I would say it's been disappointing, but you're picking this one over the other. So if you're in the sector at all, this is where you're going. Now you can get aerospace engineering and a little bit of defense in other places. GE Aerospace has been pretty solid. I get it, there's better places to be, but if we're specifically talking about passenger commercial jets, then it's Boeing over Airbus easily. And the chart's even telling you that.
Neil, to add to your point, like if we're going to talk about the two competitors, the duopoly between Airbus and Boeing, the market share isn't even relatively close. It's absolutely dominated by Boeing, right? So if you're going to take that into factor, it's like it's truly not even close. Obviously, one slightly performing better than the other, but it's a lot of regulation, which makes it a tough margin business. And why these names, who you would think would be absolutely parabolic because there's only one and two competing with each other, that's not necessarily the case.
Well, I'll give you the monthly chart on Boeing for what everyone is sort of waiting for. And at least I know that I'm in this one because if you go back to the COVID lows, right, the doom and gloom bottoms that we had going on, all you're doing is making distinct support higher lows, and we're setting up for this breakout. Now, if and when we finally get through 260 to 280, then you've got some serious liftoff. It's been an absolute buy under, like the local bottom's been the 200 area, this 190 to 200, and obviously in the 150s has been gold. But once you start to break this out, remember what we talked about with Brian Shannon. The longer a consolidation level, the better you like the break. And sometimes what'll happen is a stock will get boring enough that everyone starts to forget about it, and then they forget the story. And also keep in mind, if you keep this, any stock does this where it keeps the same range, but is able to at least meet expectations or beat expectations, even ever so slightly, then it's getting better and better as a value proposition at the time at which it breaks out. So I think Boeing is kind of stuck in that churn, which is fine. You know, not everything has to be I'm buying it right now and I'm going to trade it. Like, am I buying Boeing here? No, I don't think you're buying this stock unless you get good dips. Maybe the 50 period on the monthly there. Maybe a big change in their next quarter. Maybe a breakout. There's all kinds of things. But to me, it's on the radar. I'm holding it, and I still like them. If you're going to have any exposure, I think you're easily picking this over the other. We did get a super chat. Can we throw the super chat up, because it was an Nvidia super chat, and I see super chat and I always want to make sure that we get to it. Can we get that up there, Andre? I'm like 99% sure I saw it in NVIDIA. There it is. That was Teriyaki. Oh, Teriyaki PR? Do you guys see NVIDIA recover today?
Define recover, though.
Well, I would venture to say you've had a good enough V-shape. Like, what more are you going to ask for on a day like today? Right, like you made the low, you've come right, like the only buying that occurred off of the open got into 213, which is basically prior day low, and you've made the V-shaped recovery into this. It's now above VWAP when the NASDAQ isn't. So here's the NASDAQ, right, still making lower highs and lower lows for the time being. So NVIDIA's put in a pretty solid recovery, even if it doesn't break the 213. If it can so much as hold on to VWAP here, I think you've got what you wanted. Like for me, if something is this badly downtrend and you catch along, you've got the move you want, and everything else it'd be more gravy than trying to buy up here for myself, because longs have been challenging enough today. On weekdays, you gotta reward yourself and be happy with what you can get if you're a long trader, because it's so easy to get destroyed on a day like today. Like if you got the bottom, congratulations to you. I'm not expecting too much more. Let's go back up to the desk.
I just want to mention here, UAL, I know you're just talking about Boeing, another plane-related headline here. CEO of UAL, I believe his name is Scott Kirby. He's very talkative. This is the same man that has, was talking a lot about that potential, apparently talking to the Trump administration about a potential merger a while back. Anyways, now he's saying that UAL wants to equip their entire fleet with Starlink internet by next year. So again, UAL CEO saying the goal is to equip their entire fleet with Starlink by next year. Back to you.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I like that idea. Eventually, you'll see just internet access on airplanes throughout whatever flight. Ondas about to break 1060 resistance. Yeah, nice. Good call out on that. We were talking about that here earlier today. ONDS. So not too bad there, guys, as it is heading north of where we were talking about not too long ago. Break of this bull flag. Broke that, headed into 1062, pulled back a little bit now. So let's see if this continues to hold up. But let's send it back to Sia and head on to this next story here, Neil. We're going to talk a little Amazon here.
We're going to dive into another headline from Amazon. Has said it has invested more than 15 billion pounds, which equates to $20 billion in Britain during 2025, which has kept pace towards its previously announced 40 billion pound UK commitment by the year of 2027. Now the spend has gone towards logistics infrastructure, studio expansion, office growth, and drone delivery trials. UK revenue has topped 30 billion pound, while Amazon has paid 1.3 billion pounds over in taxes, up 20% year over year, which helps politically scrutiny on big. Also, UK remains number 3 in global markets, behind only the US and Germany. So this also reinforces how strategically important this region is. Additionally, another thing that Amazon announced, that Amazon India has strengthened its position as India's largest beauty store, and it will be adding over 100 premium brands. There were a lot of mini headlines coming out on their newsroom today. Currently, Amazon up on the day by almost 2%.
Yeah, we're not going to complain about this, but no. I'm just gonna get straight to the point here, Neil. Logistics, great. So that's more warehouses, fantastic stuff. And I'm referring to, obviously, the EU and the UK as well. All these things are great. Studio expansion for Amazon Prime. But where is the talk about your AI infrastructure and your build out? I don't feel like we put it completely to the side, and I'm referring to Amazon, the e-commerce aspect of things, but it's AWS that we're continuously talking about here. And I just find it a little bit funny that it's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna expand our office space, we're gonna build more warehouses, but no real talk of an investment in regards to AWS's build out and building data centers, which would be a little bit complicated in the UK just due to regulation factors. But I think that's where you'd want to dive into. They're paying their tax, but I think that's where you want to head, not necessarily your e-commerce expansion. I don't know how you feel about that.
Well, I would tend to agree. I think that one of the things that gets lost about Amazon, like it's such an unfair. Amazon's kind of treated unfairly, in my opinion. Right, like they get their number. AWS is number 3. They haven't had the growth that obviously Alphabet has had in data center. They just haven't had and then Azure has been pretty impressive as well, is out in front. They're like one of the largest employers in the world, and the retail side of it is gigantic. You literally get that business for free when you own Amazon. When you start thinking about the valuation, it doesn't seem to get credit for it. So I think this is a solid story. Going forward, there's going to be an interesting comparison that gets made, okay? Because once SpaceX comes to market, there's going to be more chatter about this tie-up between them and Tesla, right? So you're going to have XAI, you're going to have SpaceX together, you're going to have Tesla, which is a little bit of autonomous, and of course, when you talk about Tesla's stack, at the end of the day, you're going to get this major potential behemoth, kind of like an Alphabet, and then some comparisons are going to get made. Because when the regulators, if and when they do take a look at it, the only places you're going to be able to compare it to Amazon and to Alphabet. And what will happen if they do that type of a merger, and then you start looking at valuations? Imagine a world in where Tesla and SpaceX merge. That comparison to Amazon is going to make Amazon look very good. Trust me when I tell you this. So if we get some point down the line where this merger is happening, I'm telling you, any money that goes into SpaceX and money's going to have to come out of a lot of places because SpaceX is going to be a huge event. If there is a premium on some of the other mega cap names because SpaceX takes up some volume, that's a dip that I want to be a part of. Because the value is going to be in Amazon and Alphabet relative to SpaceX right away and right off the jump. And so let it dip by. Let everybody get exuberant. Let everybody ignore Amazon. Let everybody not be impressed with them. Let everybody say that they're not growing fast enough. That's fine by me, because I think that'll just give you an opportunity to buy the dip. So this is maybe not a big story, but when everyone starts talking about SpaceX and gets all of that hype, let them forget about Amazon. That's fine. If you're thinking 5-10 years down the road or a long enough time frame, I don't mind when things get boring or disrespected or get drops. What the heck do you care? It just gives you a better price if you want to buy the thing. Keeps it simple.
I mean, listen, but I think, to add to your point there, Neil, I think it's, as for Bezos, it's just like, okay, you let Amazon and you let Blue Origin just sit on the sidelines and let Elon go through all this regulatory nonsense in order to combine the two companies, and you just sit back and relax to see if it's going to work or not. And then if it does, Blue Origin, you look into potentially merging with Amazon, right? I think that's a potential runway between the two. So other than that, all right, yeah, let's send it back over to CEO. Talk a little NVDA. Sorry about the sneeze, guys.
Talk a little about NVIDIA's $500 billion Taiwan commitment reinforced supply chain confidence. Now, Jensen has signaled a major long-term confidence in Taiwan, saying that NVIDIA is planning to spend roughly $500 billion annually with Taiwanese suppliers, up from already a massive $100 billion per year run rate. Now, this is effectively a public vote of confidence in Taiwan's semiconductor ecosystem, especially with TSMC, despite the persistent geopolitical concerns that surround China and Taiwan tensions. Now, strategically, this does matter. Why? Because NVIDIA is telling the markets that its AI infrastructure build-out remains aggressive, as well as its supply chain and concentration risk is something that management is willing to live with. So if the market begins repricing Taiwan risk again, NVIDIA remains directly exposed to the most critical part of its supply chain. Currently, NVIDIA down on the day by almost 1%.
Yeah, I don't know what Jensen was the whole idea that Jensen was on the plane, but then didn't have any real talking points when they went to China. How I know that that's a little bit of hogwash is the Silicon Shield is very much real. This type of a commitment just tells you how real the Silicon Shield is. I don't care it doesn't matter what any talking head says, money matters. And there is no chance, I should say almost no, you shouldn't speak in certainty. There's almost no chance that any part of the U.S. government is going to allow the most important company to continue to invest in TSM and that build out, understanding that the vast majority of all of the most important chips are made at TSM and Samsung in Taiwan. And when we get done with when we're done with Iraq and you start talking back to China again, yeah, you know that there's going to be a hard line on Taiwanese independence. That is going to get hammered down, and it's the amount of money that just keeps on flowing through Taiwan that's going to give you that. Unfortunately, I mean, it's not like this story's not doing anything for the AI trade today.
No, I don't think
I don't think it was ever going to.
No.
Right? Like, yeah, go ahead.
This is what you expect, though, right? Like, when you occupy the majority of the company's fabrication capabilities, you're going to need to continuously invest in it. By the way, there goes Tesla breaking through that resistance zone finally. But what I'm getting at is you have TSMC investing in the United States. So as long as NVDA continues to design these chips, you have TSM actually fabricating them. You have Donald Trump's complete onshoring plan, so you're going to want that continuous investment, and you want to occupy as much of that fabrication as you possibly can, because look what some other names are doing, right? Like AMD is second in line there. So you want to continuously pay as much as you can and invest in the company that is putting your design together, and I think that's really important. And $100 billion a year runway plans to spend roughly $500 billion annually for its suppliers. This is what these guys are doing. This is the AI build. You have the Arizona plant as well, so you're going to see that trickle into the States. So it's not just completely all fabrication within the TSMC in, obviously, Taiwan.
Well, that's true. The amount of time that it takes to build out in the U.S. to get to a point where you're able to do some significant numbers. Like, ask Intel how that's going. And it's fantastic. They can do all the build out they want. And for everything that TSM or Samsung have invested in the United States, show me where the most advanced chips are getting made in the US yet. They're not, right? Like, it's just not what's happening. Eventually it should. It's just not happening yet. And the other thing is, this story is not going to do anything for all of the naysayers that say you still have way too much concentrated. It's a circle jerk. You have too much concentration within a few companies, and if one Jenga, whatever, one domino falls, I suppose. I want to make it a Jenga reference. It could topple the whole thing. This does nothing for that at all. Like, this is part of what is also maybe the reason people are hating on Nvidia. But at that point, it's almost as if, well, Nvidia's not even they're not even the one that's the biggest risk if this whole thing topples anymore, because it's been failure to move. So I think it's weirdly become the tip of the iceberg, yet not the worst thing that's gonna die if the bubble bursts. Which is kind of a weird place for Nvidia to be. Like, they're kind of like this weird value, but then it's like, yeah, but they're the signal that everything is too crazy. It's all them. But yet at some point, I think it'll have much better support if this thing all does unwind. I just saw a TXJ fan say that IREN's back at the high of day. Of course it is. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course IREN's at 66. 11%? Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Crazy.
Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't IREN be at $66? Yeah, well, unbelievable. Absolutely ridiculous. The stock is completely insane. And by the way, Joe, you mentioned Tesla.
Yeah.
I don't usually trade TSLL, but I was going for my walk. And it did this long right here off of, like, it was 1620 or so, like on actual Tesla. I forget what the exact price was. I think it was down around like 439, 440. And I left the bid in, and I hadn't been all filled. So it got into VWAP, and I was like, I'll just leave the bid. It'll come back in and probably pick me up. And I got my stop all protected, so I'll just get the rest of the shares. And then it doesn't fill because I was underneath. Like, I had a bid down here, like a penny lower, like 1 cent lower. If I had that bid at the same price as the original entry, I would have gotten the top again. Instead, I get filled on the way back in with my stop. It runs my stop. I'm out for a walk just around whatever. I come back only to look at this. So thank you, Tesla. While Tesla has been a good stock today, not terribly happy with that out. And I think we're going here. Actually, I like pull back into VWAP, and I think Tesla's going to be a good one for the afternoon. Good chance to make the high of the day. USO's breaking lows. There's a lot that's working, I think, for the afternoon to get some of this back for the market.
I think Tesla hits the high of the day at this point as well. You absorb more liquidity. You can see that we got it. We were in this earlier today too, Neil. And we get it off the lows here. Big move. We take half off. And then we add more up here, thinking this trend line would potentially break, right? So this is anticipation, not participation. Sure enough, flushes, but then when it was heading, after it tested this 1, 2, 3, and then started to put in some aggressive selling, I'm like, let's just take the money and run. And then sure enough, it does an additional flush. And if you get right back in around the 16, 17 level, it starts to grind higher once again. Now, if the market finds any form of a rebound, I think that this one will do the exact same thing. All right, guys, let's head over to, I believe, the final story of the day. Before we do, indecision print on volume here on IBIT. Could this be a potential bottom in on this name, guys?
So, sorry about that. Let's talk about Marvell as our final story for today. The street is expecting a 75-cent EPS on $2.40 billion revenue versus the prior quarter's 80-cent EPS beat on $2.22 billion revenue. Somebody has to move all the data that hyperscalers are spending aggressively, and that on AI compute, and Marvell does sell that. So which reinforces a certain bullish outlook on the story. CEO Matt Murphy will also be speaking at Computex, which is an expo, and the company is pushing its AI connectivity messaging ads fuel. But that is also that's also more narrative enforcement rather than just looking at a fundamentally new information. And the Polariton acquisition that the company did also fits this particular thesis that improving high-speed data movement for its AI clusters, currently Marvell, down on the day by 4%.
Yeah, I mean, as for Marvell, we know that, Neil, it's no secret that this name has been on a big-time run. I mean, the custom ASICs, application-specific chips that we're kind of in fear of. You have the TPU from Google, the Trainium unit from Amazon. These are being designed by, obviously, Broadcom and Marvell. But one thing that I think is underestimated is, don't forget, Neil, Jensen invested $2 billion in Marvell. So if this company is supposed to take a little bit of its market share, they have an investment based in the company as well, too.
Exactly, and they've just been gaining on Broadcom over and over and over again. And I think, look, I don't want to, Marvell has definitely been talked about enough. I think it comes down to tonight, you got to think one of two things. Is this the dip on the earnings because of how far it's gone, or is tonight going to be the dip on the earnings? It really obscenely easy, so anybody can do it. If it gets down in front of 170, it's just assume that we close here. Right? Anything can happen in the next 2 hours, obviously. But let's just assume we close here at the 200 level. You would be pulling right back into exactly where this ramp started, like 170 bucks effectively. Like this, if it goes expected move down, again, from where it closes, I know it's already down 4%, it's gonna show you a buy zone on Marvell. So I think a lot of people will be thinking, you know, like think of it like the SanDisk pullback or just any one of these names that have reported earnings after you've been going parabolic to the upside. Nobody is saying this trade is done. The investments by Nvidia have been saying that this trade is not done, that this theme is not done. And really, if you've not been trying to buy dips on it, at some point it'll be wrong, but it hasn't been wrong yet. And when they report, if it's 14 down, you're going right into a support level that's like, if you don't like that level, then you don't want to buy the dip. So I think push comes to shove. Well, maybe we don't see the 170. I don't know. You never really know about these things. But if you do, you got to know that this is a fantastic bounce spot for them. Because most will tell you that we're not in the first inning here, but we're certainly not in the bottom of the ninth. Mariano Rivera hasn't stepped on the mound here. You know, when he does, then we can start worrying about catastrophe. I love Mariano Rivera, by the way. Yeah, I could have said some recent person to signify it was the ninth inning, but I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that. It just keeps it real.
Yeah, sorry guys, I was just looking because we just hopped in a little bit of IBIT here off of these support levels to see if we can get somewhat of a bounce. So shout out to IBIT. I believe this is going to be our second. Did we trade this thing today? Yeah, we tried a short on it earlier here today. But I mean, there's a couple of things aligning here for me to take this. You're at the support level. You have this volume uptick and that nice indecision print on both of the time frames that I'm looking at, respectively the 5 and the 1. So let's see if this can go nice support level breach, liquidity absorption. and then maybe we can climb. But there goes Tesla, not being able to hold up there, guys, as it's coming right back into VWAP. But downtrend, right? So I am counter trend trading on this one. If it breaks through some of the support levels, we have to be prepared to get out of that one. But yeah, let's go. Let's see if we can get some rocking and rolling here on IBIT. You guys know what time it is. It is now 2 o'clock, 2:01 to be precise. I hope everyone had a fantastic one. Jeremy LaBoo-Boo, we have MF Dangerous in the chat. Mike Peter Ryder, see you later. We have Jody Hughes, what's up, Jody? Tony Zeta, and Factory Geometry, that is. What's going on with Tesla, asks Ronan. I'm not sure if I knew the answer. I'd figure it out and I'd try to correct it, but yeah, it's just chopping around here, guys. See you later, Oral Blaster. Have a good one, Electric Passions. I hope everyone has a fantastic